Are you ready?
They say gaming is easy. They say this is not a job. They say it's a waste of time. But we kept at it. Got better. We grinded, leveled up, and conquered. We are gamers. We are the ESL India Premiership, powered by Omen by HP.
The guy's out.
That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The ESL India Premiership 2018 has 3 seasons: summer, fall, and winter. The summer season takes place from April to June, while the fall season runs from July to September. Finally, the winter season takes place from October to December. Coming to tournament formats, each season is divided into 3 tiers: the professional tier, the Master League; the semi-professional tier, the Challenger Series; the Open tier, the Starter Cups. Moving on to the frequency, every season in the ESL India Premiership 2018 will see 1 Master League, 3 Challenger Series, and 3 Starter Cups. The Masters League now hosts 12 teams and players. Meanwhile, the Challenger Series has 8 contestants and follows a double elimination format. Finally, the Starter Cups are now limited to only 128 participants, so make sure you register for the Premiership now. Once you register for the Starter Cup 1, you'll have to fight your way to the top. At the end of the phase, you will get promoted to the Challenger Series 1. You should try and maintain your position in the Challenger Series 1, 2, and 3. But this is no easy task. At the end of every phase, the bottom 2 contestants are dropped out. They are replaced by the top teams from the Starter Cups. Those who succeed in the Challenger Series are rewarded with promotion to the Master League. The top 4 teams will proceed to play in the next season's Masters League. Meanwhile, the Master League runs uninterrupted until the end of the season. The 12 champions will constantly try to establish their dominance over the others. But at the end of a season, the bottom 4 teams are relegated to the Challenger Series, while the top 4 play at the Land Finale for the top prize. ESL India Premiership 2018 begins in April. The registrations are on, so make sure you sign up now.
Turn around 3 times. Start shooting.
This is the first ever Omen X laptop for gamers that go to extremes. Gear up with a machine designed for total domination and engineered for gaming in stunning 4K. Equipped with the latest Intel Core processors, it gives you the power to be relentless. With a 17.3-inch diagonal screen and desktop-class graphics, you get maximum performance to be victorious anywhere. With multiple fans and large exhaust vents, heat is transferred away from critical components for dynamic overclocking. Ramp up boot times, game loading, and overall system responsiveness with optional RAID 0 SSD configurability. An RGB LED backlit mechanical keyboard lets you program each individually lit key to create customized key maps that switch seamlessly between games. With 2.5mm travel and in-key rollover, you can take out your competition with more accuracy and precision. Designed for extreme immersion, DTS Headphone X technology comes built in for surround sound experience that puts you right in the middle of the action. With the addition of a VR headset, gamers can step inside a completely immersive world for an elevated gaming experience. Single-panel access to key components makes serviceability and upgrading easy, so you won't be sidelined or held back on your road to supremacy. It has a brushed aluminum finish on an armor-like chassis. A jet fighter-like construction with hidden lift hinges ensures you're always at the ready. And with striking lighting effects and see-through window to components, others will know too. Unleash your fiercest gameplay anywhere with the extreme performance of the new Omen X laptop.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the ESL India Premiership Summer Season Challenger Series 2018. I'm your host, Harsh Ipman Raut, and with me is Angie here.
What's up? How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Well, this is my first show, so I'm feeling a little nervous. But since the analyst Angie is sitting right next to me, she is here to prep me up. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have 3 games lined up where we have Clash Royale, where Roman Reigns will be taking on Suicidal Ninja. We have CSGO, where DarkSide will be taking on God Particles, and we have DOTA 2, where LXG will be taking on Vibe. So, moving on, our first game, Clash Royale. What are your thoughts on Roman Reigns taking on Suicidal Ninja?
I'm very excited about these two teams. First of all, the reason that we're showcasing the Challenger League game is because whoever wins this game kind of gets another chance to kind of defeat the next person in line. And if that he actually manages to defeat the next person in line, he gets a slot in the Masters League, which is going to be happening in the fall season, which is really exciting because all these players who sit in the Challenger League have made their way to the Challenger League through the Starter Cup. And then after playing the Starter Cup, they've fought their way to kind of stay in the Challenger League. And now if they kind of are able to withstand 2 more games, coming into the Masters League is a privilege for every player in the ESL India Premiership. And I'm very excited to see which among these 2 players is going to make it over there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at our first player, that is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, ladies and gentlemen, the boy is from Delhi. He's currently studying in class 11th. He's in his Mastigi Parchala, you can say. And well, this boy is known for his defensive sort of gameplay. Well, Angie, what do you think of him being a defensive player?
Well, as of now, most of the players who are in the Masters League, at least the ones who are on the top of the board, they have all been mostly defensive players, whether we talk about Seth, we talk about Satikshan, we talk about Arpan. To a certain extent, being a defensive player is your best way to kind of make sure that you're able to cater to the game better. And the better your defense is, the more better your offense is, because if you're able to hold on to what you already placed down and then move ahead with that same deck, you're able to play better. And that's one of the good reasons I think Roman has even made it to the top of the Challenger League, because he's kind of got this momentum as every other Master League player. He's maybe taken a note from them and has understood that as long as he's able to hold his Princess Tower correctly, he can mostly take down his opponent's Princess Tower.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Roman Reigns for you. Let's have a look at our second player, that is Suicidal Ninja. Suicidal or Suicidal? Well, it has been confirmed that he is a Suicidal Ninja, ladies and gentlemen. The boy is from Jamshedpur, and he is also in school. He's a Nannaha Balak who is still studying. And strategy-wise, the player prefers to play log bait.
Yeah. The log bait combo actually is one of the most used combinations, I would say, in Clash Royale. But I don't think that Roman kind of knows that his opponent likes to play the log bait combo. So he's got to be really careful whether he decides to play these really smaller units, including the cards like we've recently seen the Rascals. Now the 2 bubblegum girls who kind of stand behind that big giant over there. I hope he understands that if he does choose to play that card, it's going to be countered very easily by the log bait card. Also a card like the Magic Archer is easily countered by a log bait card. The Princess card is another one that can easily be a problem for this particular matchup for this player. So I'm going to see which one of these 2 actually comes ahead, because we have one player who's really defensive. And from what we've heard about the secondary player, he likes to be a little bit more aggressive with the combination he has stated. So I'm hoping to see whether the aggression is going to win this time, or it's going to be the defense that's going to take the toll on us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to our main game, let's just have a look at our player stats. Well, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, from the player stats, let's just move on to the main clash that we are set to watch tonight.
All right. All right, so we have a new set of games here. We have Pine going up against Sahil Singh. Now we look at Roman. He's going to have a giant in his deck. himself. Meanwhile, Suicide Ninja on the other end, he's got the Hunter, the Miner, the Fireball, and as Harsh had already mentioned, the Log is of course in his deck, of course, and also the Giant in his deck is a preferred card. For now, we have seen. We have seen that the Giant has been sent already by Roman, and it's going to make the tower as of now, and he does get the Goblin into the play, but we do see the Mega Minion who's going to get another shot on that tower. 1800 HP as of now on Suicide Ninja Star. He's got to be a little careful over here. He can't really let another Giant really gather to him. But as I speak of that, I've also not mentioned that Roman does have that Sparky for his final move. He plans to do that, but Suicide Ninja dropping that Miner in a very defensive way over here, and he's going to make his way now to Roman Reigns' tower. But on the other side, we see the big Giant getting dropped down over there with Suicide Ninja. But the Sparkies, they're one of the best defensive cards against the Giant, and I would say even against the P.E.K.K.A. And he's going to get 2 shots off. And as of now, we do see that Roman is also around the same HP as Suicide's tower. It's going to be 1,600. Now the Goblin Gang getting placed down over there. The Sparky, of course, just left on its own, but the Log going to be enough to take it down for now. And now we see the Mega Minion going to be spawned again, and the Giant is again on his way from Roman's side to just see how much more he can defeat on that tower of Suicide. The Hunter gets dropped, going to take out this Goblin Gang, but it's not going to be enough to really save his life. And with that, we have an open Giant from Roman's end, just chunking on Suicide's tower, going to secure that first Princess tower for himself and make his way now to the King throne. But the Skeleton Army gets dropped. They're going to do that chip damage, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference as of now for Roman Reigns. The Zap, of course, gets dropped there by Suicide Ninja, and now it's his turn to play the Giant. He also has dropped down the bats to make sure that the Miner gets completely avoided over there, but the Giant going to get completely countered again by that Sparky. Beautiful drop there coming in from Roman Reigns. He knew this combination would be dropped to a certain extent. He's kind of done his homework, I think, on Suicide Ninja. He's again going to get that Miner placed on the other side, but not being able to chunk down enough HP to kind of secure him this win mostly. 10 seconds on the clock. Another Giant gets down, but the Giant takes a lot of time to kind of walk through his tower, and that mostly means that Roman's got this game back himself. Alright, so good game coming in there from Roman, securing his first game in this best of 5. If he does take all 3 games, he is going to move on and play against the next player in the Masters League. And if he's able to defeat that, he may get a slot next into the Masters League, and we could even see the player over there in the fall season. But as of now, we're just going to quickly head into game 2 after about a minute. I'm hoping to see whether Roman continues to play the same deck or decides to make a few changes in it. I also think Suicide Ninja should make a few changes in his deck. I think he could even opt to go for something like the P.E.K.K.A. or something to make sure that he's able to counter the Giant with. And I feel the mini P.E.K.K.A. or even the major P.E.K.K.A. could be one of the choices. But if now we move into game 2, Roman Reigns going to drop in that 3 Musketeers into his deck. He also has the Hunter, the Hog Rider, the Log for himself too. Meanwhile, Suicidal Ninja on the other end going to have the Rocket, the Dark Prince, the Princess for himself, and he's also added the Goblin Barrel. So this is going to be interesting to watch because, as he said, he's a Suicidal Ninja, likes to play those cards that don't really need to be in the fight for too long. And as I speak of that, he's going to drop that huge rocket right on Roman's tower to make sure he starts off with the basic damage. But, oh, I see the Royal Giant also being added to Roman Reigns' deck, which is a pretty interesting combination. Though even though the elixir count is pretty high, it kind of makes sure that it's able to negate all these small units coming in there from Suicidal Ninja, including the Princess. Now, he does have the Fireball, and he's going to just use it to make sure the Princess does absolutely no damage to his Musketeers. The Skeleton Barrel gets dropped there, but I think the Musketeers will be able to handle it pretty easily. Next, we're going to see the Royal Ghost just come in, do that splash damage on the Goblin Barrel, and quickly head towards the tower. And the Prince is there now. The Dark Prince is going to make sure that he's able to take down that Royal Ghost super quick. But we do have the Ice Golem who's available, and lovely placement coming in there from Roman. Going to just take that Dark Prince for a ride with that Golem, and now he is going to make his way towards Suicide's tower. Meanwhile, the Princess gets dropped there beautifully, but the Hunter just going to give her one shot. And the Hog Rider next going to make his way from Roman's side direct towards towards the tower. There's nothing really able to stop him. He did try to freeze him off over there, but that hog is going to be a pretty hard person to deal with. And next we're going to see the barrel getting thrown there from... Wow, so Suicide is going to wake up the king now with that barrel, hitting the king thrown so quickly without realizing what he's actually doing. I think that was more of a misplay coming in from his end, but this could cost him a lot, and he's going to lose his tower. And next now we do see the 3 musketeers getting dropped there from Roman Reigns' side, and I think he's just given up now, and he's going to let that crown fall. It's going to be a 3-crown victory now coming in favor of Roman. Well played by him. Very interesting deck. To a certain extent, I was really worried for him, whether he'll be able to kind of manage all that elixir that he's kind of put in there. But a versatile player, in my opinion. He likes to really make sure concentrating on his defense to one extent, but also the way he's played his offensive cards has been really interesting for me towards Sahil. He still seems a little like, I guess it's not even nervousness, I guess he didn't really have a card to really push hard with. And let's see this game if he's added something new. Yes, he has. He's added the P.E.K.K.A, the Royal Ghost, and the Goblin Hut. He's also added the Log, which is one of his favorite cards. Meanwhile, Roman on the other end, going to continue with the same deck that he did in the previous game since it fared pretty well for himself. He's just going to drop that Royal Ghost and the Hog Rider on different ends. So Suicidal got to make very careful now how he's going to deal with both these pushes. But he's able to manage it for now. The Goblin Hut getting chopped down quickly over there by the Royal Ghost. Meanwhile, Suicidal's Royal Ghost has made its way to Roman's tower, but he's not going to survive for long. The Hunter plus the Princess from the tower going to do enough damage for himself. And now there's a quick walk coming in there from the Hunter. He wants to get that one shot on that Princess. Not going to be able to do that. Suicidal Ninja going to just add that Zappies and Minerals to his deck with that beautiful P.E.K.K.A drop. And this is going to be a very interesting watch for me. We do see the Hog again getting placed out super quick there by Roman. The Zappies doing the damage that needs to be done, but it's not really going to be able to do that much. And the Hog getting a lot of damage over there, but I wonder how now I'm going to see Roman defeat this P.E.K.K.A over here. It's a lot of damage. He does have the Royal Ghost. He's going to just drop the 1 Elixir Skeletons. The Ice Golem gets dropped there, and he's going to be able to tank all that damage coming in there from the P.E.K.K.A. Very well defensive play coming in there from Roman, making sure that the P.E.K.K.A didn't even get one shot on his tower. And now he's going to go aggressive. He has his Hunter still alive, and this is where he's going to call out to his Hog, and he has a Fireball in case there's any defense. But it's going to be the Goblin Hut getting dropped out from there from Suicidal Ninja, and of course it's going to take a fall mostly. The Hog is pretty tanky at level 7, and going to be enough to take down the whole tower. Suicidal Ninja not being able to build that momentum push from that Goblin Hut. He's going to drop down the Miner because he has nothing else open to kind of manage that Royal Ghost. He really is getting into the situation where he's not being able to play those aggressive cards for himself. And as I speak of that, Roman's just going to drop down those 3 Musketeers again, and they're going to head out on their own adventure with that Ice Golem in front. Of course, I do believe that Roman has a plan on how he's going to defend against this P.E.K.K.A. He's got that 1 Elixir Skeleton card to make sure that he can get a few shots off. He's also going to drop down that Hunter. He has the Royal Ghost, and next he's going to be placed down. The Miner, of course, coming in to make sure that he can do something to the Hunter, but the Skeletons just making sure that there is enough of distraction, and the Hunter doing quite a bit of damage. Now it's going to be the Royal Ghost stepping in, getting a few shots. The poison gets dropped, and the Hunter is again on his run. But now all I see is Suicidal got to make careful about that Hog who's going to be chunking hard. There's nothing really he can respond with as of now. I do believe that if he had concentrated on keeping that P.E.K.K.A to kind of deal with the Hog from the very beginning, he would have had a better run in this. And this is a very interesting game. I do like the way Roman kind of plays this round for himself. But anyway, more we're going to talk about this just after we head back to the studio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL India Premiership Summer Season Studio segment. And Roman Reigns turned out to be a clear winner this time. But you know, when I was having a look at the game, there was a very interesting thing that I observed, that they are just under 18, and look at their cute little baby butt faces. You know, they're really adorable, and a really good way in which they played their game. You have been through the whole journey of the game because you casted. So tell me about why did Suicidal Ninja give up in the second game?
To a certain extent, first of all, his elixir wasn't really matched to the power of what his cards actually he was playing to. Secondly, I noticed that Roman has a very interesting gameplay. He knows to a certain extent how Suicidal was actually playing his deck. And that was very clear in the round where the P.E.K.K.A came towards him. Because I was, to a certain extent, as an analyst, you kind of already know what kind of moves somebody could make as a defense. But the way he defended was very interesting for me to watch because he used 3 skeletons to kind of make sure he got those 3 shots available for that hunter to kind of make his move. Then he even dropped the Ice Golem in such a beautiful way where the Dark Prince had to really leave the lane and follow the Ice Golem. And that's why I would say that he's sitting on top, because if you know your card placements correctly, you will be able to defend any kind of push that comes towards you, whether it be a legendary card getting dropped, whether it be a normal card getting dropped. Like, to a certain extent, a lot of people tell me that if you have high level legendary cards, they overpower your normal cards. But I don't agree to that. I agree that if you have a correct deck to kind of deal with the correct push. If you kind of throw your arrows when a goblin barrel gets thrown at you, in the place of placing the bats so that the goblin barrel doesn't really get even those 2 shots on your tower, it makes a very big difference, because at the end of the day, you got to save your princess tower correctly. There are many ways to do that, but if you do it the right way, you will always be able to understand the collection of your elixir correctly. And I think Roman has got this, even though he's so young. I mean, whether we talk about the winter season finale also, we had Taranveer there, who was, I think, 13 years old. And he reached a very high level in the Masters League. And after seeing that kid play, I don't really consider any kind of child too young to play this game, or hey, he's too young. I think they play phenomenally well, maybe much better than people my age or even elder to me. Because, I mean, Rin is a 2016 champion of the ESL India Premiership, but I still saw Taranveer take him down. So I don't think age is a concern to me when it comes to this game, because it just matters how well you know your cards, how well read you are with every spell. And if you're able to play that combination correctly, it's very interesting to watch their game. And Roman, if you are watching this to a certain extent, I really wish you could make it to the Masters League, because he really has great potential in him to see him in the fall season.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Roman Reigns for you, our winner for tonight. Remember, he's not a WWE wrestler, he is a professional gamer. Anyway, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned because we have CSGO next in line.
Have that disadvantage coming in the field. He might not feel them, but look, they're getting both the frags. Baba being a beast right there. Oh my!
Really good. It's going to be a fast peek from Spawn. He's going to peek out again. He finds another one. Kill is once again there. What a god. His Spawn is just going off, looking for more. Gets the quad kill. Side 393 kills still alive. However, he's got the Emperor out, and Side will get the bomb down in time. Huge!
Will get taken down. It's going to get it. What is even happening? And Buster is going to go down as well. And Manan with the Godseer play coming in. Red trying to find the frag, but Manan. He's Red being taken out in Buster. Oh my god. Just spraying them down all together.
It might just prove to be huge, and I like this double setup towards Shelter. Escali. What? Nice and waiting for Deathmaker, the harbinger of death, destruction, and you get the drift, but Bagman, who's got something to say about it. Kill out! Kill that! No regrets tied to gets the first one, almost get the second, and the Matrix is gonna get taken down. Trans, you god, what was that round from just farming that cash. What was that shot? Marzel is going to get deleted.
Up the high ground, pop his mask of madness. Banshee tries to get the fight going, but the rolling boulder is there. The shield crash as well. Wukong's command as well as the boundary strike. But Nick taking more damage than he's dishing out. He's going to end up falling. The boundary strike is there along with the cooldown. They'll take down the Aegis. A dead bot doing a fair amount of work. Evil Ash will fall, but he does drop the mass up at once. Unfortunately, though, the laser, the They'll tap out. Okay, look at this. Blizzard has the Jingo, moves in, finds the Doom. Gets doomed but doesn't care. Moon standing in the static storm will end up falling down. Heist being controlled by the Rolling Thunder. Avada glimpse out of position. The Nightmare won't do much. Rehard TP's in, doesn't do squat either. But
Signify, they get all 5 heroes from the side of Flickering Infinity as they move.
Starts with the Walrus spot. Sidestorm on the floor, but what? What was that glimpse? Why? On this, the epicenter and the Burrow Strike coming through. Micro copying a fair amount of damage. Quick heal scepter buys in time. Darshan bouncing around in the shots with the snowball. Taking Darshan within it, Butter moves forward. Rolling Thunder still doing a bit of work, the Swashbuckle. Bringing Axel low, but the Burrow Strike is there. Quick scream coming out. Micro's got it on. The call down is there with the Flak Cannon. They bring down the Death Prophet. Butter teaming up with Darshan finds the Queen of Pain, but Dreamy is in a world of hurt. The Burrow Strike, the will buy time. Dreamy could possibly looks to turn things around here, but Darshan with the Swashbuckle finds himself a double. Quick skewer, they've got no chance. No chance has got to be careful, but elsewhere it's Blizzard that ends up falling. The Lifestealer getting a double in, no chance with the Rupture upon him. Drops the cast, tries to run the Supernova, stunning a bunch, but where's the follow-up damage? They're trying to deal with the Witch Doctor, no chance. Force stopped out of there, still dropping really low. Will not end up falling as it's the Bloodseeker falls in there swiftly. Two-man coil catches the Magnus and the Phoenix without the Supernova is nothing but food. As Blizzard gets himself an ultra kill and Signify.
Falling trees, it's hard to breathe, but I will keep fighting. Broken walls, nowhere to fall, but I will keep climbing. I can't see, I'm in the dark, surrounded by sharks, they cloud over me. I can't see, I'm in the dark, surrounded by sharks, they cloud over me. Just take me home, just take me home. Now the sky is falling, don't let it fall, don't let me go. Now the sky is falling down, 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 down on me. Down, 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 down on me. by sharks be clad over me. I can't see, I'm in the dark, surrounded by sharks be clad over me. Now the sky is falling down, 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 down on me. Down, 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 down on me.
They say gaming is easy. They say this is not a job. They say it's a waste of time. But we kept at it. Got better. We grinded, leveled up, and conquered. We are gamers. We are the ESL India Premiership, powered by Omen by HP.
The guy's out.
That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The ESL India Premiership 2018 has 3 seasons: summer, fall, and winter. The summer season takes place from April to June, while the fall season runs from July to September. Finally, the winter season takes place from October to December. Coming to tournament formats, each season is divided into 3 tiers: the professional tier, the Master League; the semi-professional tier, the Challenger Series; the Open tier, the Starter Cups. Moving on to the frequency, every season in the ESL India Premiership 2018 will see 1 Master League, 3 Challenger Series, and 3 Starter Cups. The Masters League now hosts 12 teams and players. Meanwhile, the Challenger Series has 8 contestants and follows a double elimination format. Finally, the Starter Cups are now limited to only 128 participants, so make sure you register for the Premiership now. Once you register for the Starter Cup 1, you'll have to fight your way to the top. At the end of the phase, you will get promoted to the Challenger Series 1. You should try and maintain your position in the Challenger Series 1, 2, and 3. But this is no easy task. At the end of every phase, the bottom 2 contestants are dropped out. They are replaced by the top teams from the Starter Cups. Those who succeed in the Challenger Series are rewarded with promotion to the Master League. The top 4 teams will proceed to play in the next season's Masters League. Meanwhile, the Master League runs uninterrupted until the end of the season. The 12 champions will constantly try to establish their dominance over the others. But at the end of a season, the bottom 4 teams are relegated to the Challenger Series, while the top 4 play at the LAN finale for the top prize. ESL India Premiership 2018 begins in April. The registrations are on, so make sure you sign up now.
Turn around 3 times. Start shooting.
This is the first ever Omen X laptop for gamers that go to extremes. Gear up with the machine designed for total domination and engineered for gaming in stunning 4K. Equipped with the latest Intel Core processors, it gives you the power to be relentless. With a 17.3-inch diagonal screen and desktop-class graphics, you get maximum performance to be victorious anywhere. With multiple fans and large exhaust vents, heat is transferred away from critical components for dynamic overclocking. Ramp up boot times, game loading, and overall system responsiveness with optional RAID 0 SSD configurability. An RGB LED backlit mechanical keyboard lets you program each individually lit key to create customized key maps that switch seamlessly between games. With 2.5mm travel and in-key rollover, you can take out your competition with more accuracy and precision. Designed for extreme immersion, DTS Headphone X technology comes built in for surround sound experience that puts you right in the middle of the action. With the addition of a VR headset, gamers can step inside a completely immersive world for an elevated gaming experience. Single panel access to key components makes serviceability and upgrading easy, so you won't be sidelined or held back on your road to supremacy. It has a brushed aluminum finish on an armor-like chassis. A jet fighter-like construction with hidden lift hinges ensures you're always at the ready. And with striking lighting effects and see-through window to components, others will know too. Unleash your fiercest gameplay anywhere with the extreme performance of the new Omen X laptop.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL India Premiership Summer Season Challenger Series 2018 that is brought to you by Omen by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and organized by Northwind Gaming and ESL. I am your host, Harshit Manrawat, and with me is your very own Avka God Slayer, ladies and gentlemen. And we have our next game, CSGO, where DarkSide will be taking on God Particles. So let's move to the first team, DarkSide. What are your thoughts on this game's performance tonight?
This team's performance, I mean, so I've seen DarkSide before. In fact, we saw them yesterday itself, Team DarkSide. They are from the Middle East, if I'm not wrong, and pretty strong team there. Still miles to go before they enter the Shark Tank, or as I'd like to call it, my pet favorite, the Shark Pit, for that matter. They're still there in the Finding Nemo aquarium there. They're still in the cultivating aquarium. They need to create a firm footing so that we see them rise and shine in the challenge from the summer season to the fall season. Then, so far so good. Expecting something similar, nothing extraordinary, but something similar like yesterday.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at our first team, that is DarkSide. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was DarkSide for you. Let's have a look at our second team, that is God Particles. God Particles for you, ladies and gentlemen. The team is from Delhi, has been in the gaming circuit for about 1.5 years, and is a young squad and seems to be very promising.
Yeah, indeed. More than that, I like the name God Particles, or God Particle. I'm very unsure whether it's plural or singular. But again, trying to take something out from the name itself, there's not one, but many God Particles. Higgs boson was just one. The Large Hadron Collider still is trying to find meticulously what else is there to supplement the Big Bang theory there. But that's God Particle for you.
Well, let's have a look at our map veto. So they have picked Cash after numerous bans.
Yeah, Dust 2 got banned by DarkSide, Train getting banned by Gods, Overpass and Inferno banned by DarkSide, Mirage and New banned by God Particle, leaves us with Cash. It's a 50-50 map there. When I call it a 50-50 map, I mean it's 50% strat, 50% aim, buggy style game there. So I've seen DarkSide play on this map before. I have seen them win on this map before. I expect the likes of Magician, if that is how he writes his in-game nick, and Shivi to hold fort there. They're pretty excellent players from God Particles, and considering they're all Simmer's friends, I'm pretty sure they all scrim a lot, they all practice a lot, so I'm expecting to see some really, really intense gameplay coming up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at our map video.
Cache, the remains of a Soviet weapons stockpile. This map rewards the team with mid-control. Control the middle area and you can quickly rotate to either bomb site. P.S. Expect a lot of action over at middle.
Well, that's the map video for you. Any last words, Godslayer, that you would like to say?
Wow, last words. I'm not dying yet, boy. No, I like I said, I've already said this before. God Particles has a great chance if Shivi pulls off those flicks he's pretty renowned for. And I'm pretty sure DarkSide is going to have some retaliatory fire. So, yeah, I'm going to wait and watch.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's gear up for today's CSGO match. It's gonna be DarkSide versus God Particles.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL India Premiership. We are live with the challenger game today between DarkSide and God Particles. With me, as always, is the ever charismatic and possibly one of the best Battlefield players to have ever been born in the country, Mr. Mamba Senior SR Mambe. Mamba.
Thanks a lot for that wonderful introduction, Fed, and it's an honor, to be able to cast alongside you, because I think you're one of the finest casters in the country, and with the hint of humor that you bring to Counter-Strike, I think that makes you probably the only caster who has so many jokes up his sleeves while casting. So, well, it's a pleasure to be here on the game and on the server. And yeah, the Battlefield introduction, a lot of people won't know about it. But nonetheless, getting back to the game right now, we have the A smokes coming. Revan's actually going to be pushing in, being a little too ballsy right now. And for some reason, they're communicating inside the game. But nonetheless, Raven's going to get blind. He's going to fall back. He's going to get dinked to 69 points of health as well. And he's making a really ballsy play right now. He's inside the smoke. Has to fall back because the smoke is about to fade away. And that is a really good fake. But, well, the CDs are not really going to buy it. We still have a guy towards a B-bomb. So Alcantz is going to pass the information. He's going to get OM, though. Almost being taken down right there. He's going to go around the corner trying to tap away. But he's still going to survive somehow. How is he still alive? He's finally going to go down. Rad, though, with the one tap onto Ember. He's going to get taken down, reducing it to a 4v4. And well, the C4 is going to go down, so a pretty decent fake, but not being bought by the series.
Wow, such crisp shots coming out from the players from DarkSide, right? And yesterday we saw these guys are very good on the retakes. Like, even though they consistently give up the bomb site, but they'd be so precise in their retake setups that they'd almost always get the bomb, like, diffuse in. And there we go, respect. No, yeah, it is respect. Gets the kill. Now it's all down to Mr. Shivi Strong. And the diffuse is coming in, and look at that shot. Hashtag respect for respect. What crisp shooting from him. A 3k from him to see off the pistol round, and DarkSide yet again continuing their pristine form from Cash, and they pull off yet another glorious retake.
And we have one of the players, I think, possibly restarting his game, because these guys did have to come in really quickly and sit down because Middle East is behind us in terms of time. And one of the players did mention that they just came back from work and they sat down in the cafe and hopped on the server. So possibly trying to fix something they could not because they had to be on time, and that is something I really appreciate. Even though we had a slight delay, but everything went out smoothly. So taking a timeout, and they are probably going to use it. I don't even know. Wait. Why do we have two other players on the opposite side disconnecting? I mean, this is certainly confusing right now.
I mean, I guess it's an internet issue.
But everyone has disconnected. They've not timed out. So that, I think, is just something they're probably trying to restart the game, something like that.
Possibly.
Also, this guy has a really sweet knife. Yeah, unfortunately, mine got scammed.
You know how I go on streams, right? Just like that. That tune shall forever haunt me because it's the tune that I grew up with, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. That's what I relate to whenever someone says, mate, I got scammed. Mate, I got crossbowed across the map in PUBG. Just every day.
It was actually
things.
a shady website. It wasn't a person who scammed me. And anyway, I got that. I didn't really buy it, so I was like, okay, what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? I mean, I didn't really have the knife anyway, right? But getting back to the game, God Particles, I haven't really been able to see them a lot because we don't really cast Masters League matches. But this time around, we're doing something different. We have certain Master League matches which we think are gonna be decent lined up for you guys. But looking at these guys right now, DarkSide, the way they dominated the first round, if they can carry on that sort of form throughout the match, God Particles is gonna have a really hard time. And I've seen Shivi play on pucks, and he's a decent player. I mean, for Challenger League, he's a decent player, but making it the Masters League, nothing against him, but it's just the fact that with the information we have, right, with the way he has been playing, I think he is a decent Challengers player, but making it the Masters League is going to be a tough task.
I agree. Like, these guys, they still need to work on their consistency. I mean, they've put in a lot of effort from the last time I saw them, which was at the Taiwan Excellence Cup, which TMG won, of all teams under the sun. But I mean, they have put in a considerable amount of effort, and I met Shivi at the Optic tryouts, but now this looks like it's going to be a YOLO rush towards the B bomb side, and Riv is just going to rev his engines and just mop up everybody. All right, Ember and Magi get a kill apiece. Oh, a Magi. That's a very wrong... yeah. The way I pronounced it the first time around, it's kind of... It's weird because I'm Bong, right? And that word means something completely different in Bengali. So I'm going to be calling him Magi. If
Is it possible for you to break it down on stream? What is it?
No.
Ah, I see.
No. Not at all.
One of the other things, right? So when these guys walked in towards the B bomb set through the smoke, and we had I think Rev on the MP9, he got 2 frags, but the information was never conveyed that he was getting shot from behind. I don't know if these guys couldn't hear him. The information didn't get conveyed, and the last 2 guys, they just walked out watching heavens. No one was watching the right side. So communication there is a huge gap. I mean, I could probably fit a car through that big of a communication gap, but well, God Particle, things not really working out. They did get the bomb down in the first round, if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, they did. So they're going to go in for the buy. They don't really have a lot of resources, and DarkSide is, it's just been one of those things who just sometimes tend to throw their utility early on in the round, but this time around they are going to chain things up. Or was it a virtual genesis? I'm sort of fuzzy on that memory, but nonetheless, Spider is going to get taken down to 58 points of health. Chingy, along with his teammate, just waiting it out towards A-bombs, and he still has an MP9 to work with, which I think is really balls. Even though that is a decent gun, but if you're playing close range against armored opponents, I think the fire rate isn't that great. So this might be an issue for him, but you never know, right? If there's a flashbang popping out for him, you could probably get a few easy frags. So the re-smoke coming in at the perfect time, and 45 seconds on the clock. We have 2 guys coming in from Highway, though no one watching Highway, is it? I'm not sure. We do actually have a person watching Highway. Rat is going to be waiting it out with the op, so a pretty methodical round coming from God Particles.
Oh, so you call him Rat, so I don't know why I'm referring to him as Respect.
Yeah, it's just a shorter one, right? As casters, certain times there are names which get a little tongue twisted. But look at that shot! Spider is gonna go down. Nitro coming with the refract. Can he get the second one as well? Rat is gonna miss out on the shot, and Shuhai with the 2K while entering on the bomb set. Ember is gonna find the frag on the river as well. It's gonna be Alkham's all alone, and it's actually Alkham Nims. Well, right. So
yeah.
Nonetheless, Nims, we'll probably call him Nims for this matchup. Nims just waiting it out with the UMP. And 1v3 has a lot of work to do, but at that range it's going to be a tough task, right? Because it doesn't have the best weapon to work with. It's still going to try though. It's still going to try and make his way towards A-bombs and maybe do some sort of damage. But looking at the cash they have, it would be a better choice to fall back. And he's actually not committing to it. So he's just waiting it out. Maybe, just maybe someone on the terror side would make a mistake and he would be able to get the frag. So not committing to it. And I really like this from Nims.
Yeah, Alganim's playing it smart. He knows the money isn't the strongest on their team. He's just trying his best, to maybe catch a few exits, but the T's also played smart. God Particles, they're not going to give him those exits that he so desperately wants, but I think he might be just, trying to secure a gun, but gets the kit, but unable to retrieve a rifle or the AWP. Well, the AWP does get picked up by God Particles, so it doesn't matter. He wouldn't have found it anyway. So far, I mean, DarkSide, they had such a good showing on Cash yesterday. They just completely blew, I think it was Virtual Impact. They just blew them out of the water. They had no contest kind of a match yesterday. 16-4 it ended in favor of DarkSide. And, that would have made me think that, God Particles may want to veto out Cash. But then, hey, I guess this is one of their stronger maps as well. So they've gone with it. And so far, it has been even Stevens. It's not leaning towards any one side. And I know it's early days for me to make a statement like that. But just considering the way that God Particles played that gun round, it was methodical. Yes, there was an element of luck that Rat and Chingy kind of lined up towards the A-bomb site there, and both died almost simultaneously. So yeah, that did favor God Particles in winning that round, but it was a good hit. And I like this. Good aggression, map control towards mid, starving God Particles off information and any mobility across the map. 3 players towards mid, Riv holding with that dreaded Deagle from Highway, marking towards, Squeaky. But now it's going to be a 2-man boost, and Rat needs to be careful. 2 players are going to be peering down upon him over his shoulder. And Faker, he needs to show his hand, and Rat still gets the kill, and Faker. All right, Mr. Faker. gets the kill, and Rat. Yesterday, this man was a beast, was he not? Like, the way he was getting kills everywhere across the map was just god tier. And there's Alghanims spraying down 2 players. Rat does get taken down in the end. Mr. Knight Rider with the kill. But Mr. Knight Rider needs to be careful. Mr. Knight Rider is dead.
And this was actually God Particles round to throw away because the way they were spread up, right? Across the map, their default was looking pretty solid. But somehow, you know, once they got boosted up towards mid, 2 of the guys, one of them just went down, I mean, without doing any sort of damage. And the other guy, he didn't really have a lot to do, right? Because once you lose a player and there is a guy right below you, you do not want to commit to it. Because what if someone pops out of Z? What if someone pops out of Highway? So a really risky situation to be in. And somehow DarkSide winning the matchup, winning the round. And God Particles, I mean, their default is looking pretty promising. But for some reason, they're just not, you know, able to capitalize on it. And looking at the way the Molotov went to wins as well, right? These guys have practiced this map, and for now it looks like it is going to be a quick 8 coming in, a walk explode, and I think Riv realizes that, so it's just a waited out. The nade is going to go out, and Chingy throwing in the Molotov at the choke point. It's going to be Maggie who's going to get taken down, and Chingy being traded out as well. So it is going to be Alkine, Faker, and Rad on the CD side in a 3-4 retake. And this was actually a pretty decent round coming for the Terry side, right? Because the CDs didn't really play to perfection, and now they have the bomb down. They have the man advantage as well. They could actually possibly pull this round off. If Rat gets taken down, it's going to be Faker who's going to get blinded. It's probably going to go down as well. With the clock, Shivai getting the frag onto him. It is going to be Alganim going around the corner. It's going to go down as well. And somehow, God Particles pull out a round where they had absolutely no business winning at. I mean, on a complete eco as well. All they had was a P250 to work with. They walk into the A-bomb set, plant the bomb down, and, well, God Particles somehow managed to win the round.
They lost to effing Glocks.
It reminds me of Taste.
Yes! Are you kidding me? Glocks.
Oh, shit. Well, that was a pretty decent round nonetheless. I mean, you know, it was really, really good. And Rat still, you know, now the CDs have been pushed on in eco. So this match is turning out to be like that affair where, you know, 1 round goes to the CD side, 1 round goes to the other team. And this just goes on to show how important managing your economy is in the early parts of the game, because if you keep on losing those anti-ecos, you are going to be on the edge of losing out on 3 to 4 rounds, because, you know, somehow these guys are managing to win the anti-eco, which is not the most ideal situation to, you know, be in as the team with guns. But if you guys can manage to win the anti-eco as well, when you have guns, you know, you can easily win 3 or 4 rounds in a row. And Knight getting the flag onto Rat for some reason coming in all alone. I don't get this from the series. I mean, why do you have to be spread out when you don't have the weapons to work? Just all you have to do is, anyway, you're not going to win the round. I mean, the chances of you winning a round are really skim. Just try and huddle up and try and get the guns off the Terry set, because the money is not that great, right? Just try and do as much economic damage as you can and capitalize on it.
I mean, that's the thing, right? That's where God Particles actually won out. That's why they won out the previous round, is because they just overwhelmed that 2-man A defense. They figured it out. They're like, guys, A is pretty weak early round. Let's just hit it. 1 pop flash, YOLO, Leroy Jenkins into the bomb site, and they just out, like, they shot more bullets than 2 M4s did that previous round. That is impressive, and just with Glocks that too. And the A defense just never stood a chance. They were almost always blind. They were almost always, you know, like, they were just completely outgunned by Glocks.
Nope. Almost being taken out right there though with the P250, and yeah, so it's turning out to be an interesting matchup, and one of the guys has timed out. And DarkSide, is it one of the guys actually quit the game because he had to fix something on his PC? So it's a technical timeout. It is not a tactical timeout. And in the meantime, this match is turning out to be one of the matches. I mean, I you know, to be very honest, I expected it to be a one-sided affair, because, dude, I haven't seen God Particles, but seeing one of the players, how he played, I thought it was not going to be one of those teams which would probably be very promising. But they are proving me absolutely wrong right now, Fed.
Yeah, I mean, God Particles, it's clear that they've put in a lot of hard work into their cache, at the very least.
So cache is one of those maps, right, which as a new team, you start off practicing cache straight up. And I've seen this, I've seen a lot of new teams do this. I mean, I remember I was at the ESL studio last month, and I had one of the Starter Cup. Well, so there's this one player who plays in the Starter Cup right now, a fairly new team. I just remember the maps, and in a straight up cache and Mirage, these are the 2 maps which any Indian team which is not, which is a new team. They're going to start off on these two maps, like hands down, because everyone who's playing competitive Counter-Strike in the country knows these two maps in and out. So I'm not really surprised that God Particles put in so much work on Cash, because overall it's not a very hard map to learn as well, right? It's not like Overpass where you have to like spend so much time on the map, watch so many demos to try and figure all the other things. Cash is just one of those maps. Even in Pugs you find it so many times. So I think it's just the fact that it's one of the easy maps and God Particles feel comfortable on it. And to be very honest, I think they are actually at an advantage right now, because DarkSide, they played yesterday on the very same map. I mean, if you're playing after a week or so, if you're playing after 3 or 4 days on the same map, you could probably have some time to try and figure out something new and try and practice it. But since DarkSide played yesterday, and you could just literally download the demo and watch it, you won't expect way too many changes, right? So I think God Particles, I'm hoping they've done their homework and can try and come out victorious in this matchup, because they are surely looking promising now.
Well, I mean, it's Counter-Strike, right? And we, as casters, you love to be surprised. You love to see teams come back, better, improved, And I think God Particles are trying their best. When I saw them last year at Taiwan Excellence, they just got completely bullied off the server, again, by TMG, who eventually went on to win that tournament. But they seem to have put in the hard work. They've seemed to have gone through at least some of the grind necessary to, catapult yourself over that glass ceiling, which is the barrier between the semi-pro and the professional circuit. Domestically, I'm talking. It's in a domestic contest, so I'm not talking about the top tier professional teams, but at least within the Indian context, the jump from semi-pro to professional, they seem to have at least gone through a partial bit of that grind, and they've come back stronger. They're looking much more well-oiled. They're looking much more in sync. At least during their anti-ecos, they look a lot more calm, composed, and they're not walking into corners, getting pistoled in the face. They're mollying properly, they're flashing properly. And even that round that they won with just the Glocks, it was some very well-timed flashes and a good plan to rush the A bomb side. I think that's a very good read coming in from the IGL that, DarkSide is going for a rather mid-heavy setup early on. Let's exploit that and charge out either towards the A or the B bomb side. They made the right call, went A. That pop flash was pristine, and they literally turned the tides of the game so far, because DarkSide at that point looked like they'd be running away with the first half, as they did yesterday against Virtual Genesis Impact. I don't really remember one of the two virtuals, but either way, this is going to be a decent map to watch, in my opinion.
That is for sure. Because we've seen these guys play yesterday, and I was casting with players, so I don't know if you've been if you've had the chance to watch these guys play, and they were looking pretty decent. I mean, obviously Virtual Genesis was making newbie mistakes. They were using all of the utility early on in the CD side. One of those mistakes, I think it was a Malaysian team. So one of the most important things on the CD side is conserving your utility, knowing when to use it, and DarkSide was doing a pretty decent job at that. And right now, the way God Particle is playing, I mean, it's not bad. It's actually good textbook Counter-Strike. But for now, right now, anything that DarkSide is doing, it's working out. But if you really want to dominate, I think some sort of aggression in the late round would probably help, or maybe just try and shut down the entire B bomb set early on in the round, just the way FaZe does it, right? I mean, throw in a deep smoke towards B mains, take control, fall back, get that information, make it harder for God Particles to get the control of the B bomb side, and try and shut them down, or try and contain them towards the A bomb side or towards mid, because I personally feel the B bomb side is a little more harder to retake than the A bomb side, because there are just too many angles to watch out for. So try and fortify the B bomb side, try and push them towards the A bomb side and play the A retake.
I mean, there's a lot of things that they can do. Cash is a very versatile map, and it's predominantly economy driven. It's not really T-sided or CD-sided. You can dictate the pace of the game just by keeping your opponent's economy in check. Which is why, again, on the grand scheme of things, when you actually break down the round wins and losses on the T or the CT side on Cash, you get a more or less even spread on both the sides, on the T or the CT side. And I mean, it is something that DarkSide would want to keep in mind, and utility is your best friend on the CT side, especially to hold off those pesky little fast rushes when your opponent's economy isn't the strongest. There's always this propensity to yaar ghuske maro, yaar khatam karo, yaar something. like along those lines. I've seen this happen so many times, and you just want to get it over and done with. Like you're like, screw this. May not have a plan, but just want to get some frags. Just want to get to my guns, and somehow they do work out eventually, or sometimes some way or the other. I'd like DarkSide to play like they were yesterday. While yes, you're right. I think both Blair and you pointed out yesterday that DarkSide had this tendency to get rid of the utility way too quickly into the round. But it stopped Virtual Genesis, Impact, one of the two, from ever rushing them. At any point during the map, they were never rushed. It denied their opponent's map control yesterday. It completely choked them out, forced their opponent to play, the game that DarkSide had in mind for this map. And I feel that is what prompted that extremely one-sided game that we witnessed yesterday. Today, however, they've changed something up. God Particles are being allowed to get map control. And, well, it's not really working out so far. But then again, it's still early days. Anything can happen.
This is going to be certainly interesting, right? Because DarkSide, while they do look promising, right now, God Particles are the underdogs for me. And they have come out with all their guns blazing, and they've shown us that they do have the character to try and make it the Masters and be in the Challenger League as well at such a good spot in such a stage of the tournament. So this is going to be interesting to see. We had the op onto Nitro Rider on the CDs. We don't really have an op to work with. So this is going to be interesting because Faker is just going to wait it out. We have the smoke going into his B-mates, but two of the guys... So this time around, they did change the default up a bit. We have an A-heavy setup coming from the CTs, but no one... Look at that. We actually have one of the guys pushing in towards Highway. Spider is going to be making his way towards Highway, and the CTs had absolutely no idea. This could have been devastating for them had Spider pushed out, but he's just going to take control and just wait it out, not going to move an inch. Now this is a huge play coming in from him because he can do so much from there, because the series won't realize that he has already pushed up. They'll probably think that there is no one, but again, they are playing two guys towards a B-bomb side, so they are going to be a little careful because there was no one from the CD side towards mid. The flashbang going in, Spire is not going to get blinded, and for some reason the CTs are... Actually, sorry, the terror side, they did change the default up early up in the round, but this time around they're going to try and take things a little more slowly. Spot is in a really good spot, so well, they'll try and probably play pick and play wherever they get the pick. Try and wait for one more pick, probably get two picks, and then try and push in towards a bomb site.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of this switch up, to be honest, by DarkSide, this turtling up towards both the bomb sites and completely giving up mid control. But again, DarkSide haven't really done much with the amount of map control afforded to them. They're just going to be hitting the A bomb side. They're going to YOLO in, and Rat is going to get one. Chingy gets the other. There is a player moving up Highway, which no one's watching. So Spider is going to have a field day shooting respect Rat in the back. But Faker comes out from nowhere, careens around the corner, and knocks Spider's block off. Riv running out of bullets on that M4A1S. It's 2018. Why the M4A1S? If this were, if Nova were here in the lobby, he'd be like M4A1S lul. He does not like that weapon.
It used to be a pretty good weapon pre-nerf. Once once the fire rate got reduced, I've literally stopped using it. I mean, I used to use it all the time. Wait, did the server lag out?
No, it's all good.
Hello?
It's all good.
Oh, well, hello.
Hi.
It was me lagging out for a brief moment. And this is something that happens when I have even when I have two internet connections running at the same time. But nonetheless, getting back to the game right now, Rat is going to find the headshot onto Ember. And, well, that is going to open things up for the CD side, DarkSide. With the man advantage, Riv is going to have the MP9 to work with. And this is certainly going to be interesting to see how it actually pans out. Because the terror side, being at a disadvantage, now they do have a guy towards blue doors. The most he can do right now is lurk around, but he's going to fall back, making the same choice right now. And he's going to try and wait it on. And Spider every single time is pushing out mid. And no one, the CDs are just giving it up, which is fine. If you can contain it, which is absolutely fine. But if he makes his way towards Z, then it will be devastating in Spider. All he has to do is try and sneak in towards Z. And, but well, that is actually a really tough ask, considering the fact that if he throws the smoke, if Riv throws that smoke out, this could not actually work out in the favor. I don't know why he has a smoke in his hand. just trying to increase his mobility. But it's just scary. But nonetheless, it's going to be Alganims getting the frag onto Magi, and it's going to be Faker going around the corner trying to find the second as well. Shuai somehow is going to survive on 5 points of health. और रंगोली बना दिया उधर फेटिस ने.
हाँ, it's like literally आरती spray boss. Like गोली हर जगह लगी पर इंसान पे नहीं लगी. 5 HP, he would have just gone down in an instant. But now it's a 3v3 retake. We've said this before. We've seen it before. These guys are very good on the retake, especially on the B bomb side. That Molotov is gonna force Spider out, but Chingy is not gonna make the move just yet. God Particle, well, they still have another day left to breathe. But now Chingy, he's going to make his move. He's going to come out and he spots one player. He's going to get the kill. 2 kills actually. And now it's all down to Mr. Knight Rider himself with the AVP. The big green gun, quite literally the Pit Viper. Can he get it? Zoom Banger out. Zoom Banger misses, but Rat is not going to allow Knight Rider a second opportunity to get another shot off. Mr. Respect retrieves the AWP 2K for him. And DarkSide move on over to 5 rounds. God Particles now. Their money is starting to dwindle, and it's dwindling fast. I think this would be the last buy that will be allowed to them. If they don't win it, it's going to get really hairy.
I don't know where that thing come with it. I don't even know. I forgot the word for it. But nonetheless, getting back to it, right? Orad is going to have the AWP, and this guy can be really, really scary when he wields the AWP. So it is going to be interesting if God Particles can counter him. But the way it's looking right now, God Particles have a tough task at their hands, and they're going to go in for the bread and butter execute. And that's been such a long time since I've seen this. The Molotovs going out really, really early. And I don't think that was the most sane choice they could have made. But the nade is going to go in, which is going to do a lot of damage. Riv is going to find the frag. It's going to be him going in for the second one. Can he get the third as well? It's going to get taken down by Magi. And they have the control of the bomb side now. Faker spotting Knight Rider on top of Forklift. The smoke is going to fade away. The re-smoke coming in. And the nade being primed up. It is going to get thrown in. But the C4 is not being planted right now. And the nade failing out. Now that is one of the things that you'll just feel bad about in such a situation. You could have probably saved that out. The smoke is going to get thrown out as well towards A main to block it off. And the flashbang coming in is going to be Faker is going to get absolutely blinded. But well, they actually have one of the angles being cut off. It is going to be Faker is going to get taken down by Shuai. It is going to be Alganims all alone. Gets the first one. Trying to get the second one as well. He's going to go around the corner. Gets the second. Going to get the third. Almost pulling it off. But Knight Rider, peeking out at the perfect time. And well, he's going to try and save the day. And he actually succeeds. So God Particles winning the round up. And somehow this is turning out to be such a back and forth match fit.
I mean, I guess it was inevitable considering the ping difference between the two. But I mean, I don't like the fact that DarkSide are constantly getting caught off guard by the fast plays. That too, specifically towards the A bomb side. Every time God Particles have gone B, they've literally hit a wall. They've come up against a wall. And every time they've gone A and hit it fast, they've more or less won it. And I like what Riv is doing. Rat is baiting for Riv, but the fact of the matter is it's 5 USPs. It's not like, even if they do come into their crosshairs, it's gonna be of much use. We've still seen players pull off god tier rounds with just the starter pistols on the CT side, but this may just be a shade too much. Riv just completely dabbing away. He's white as fresh snow. And look at that call. Such a smart call coming out from God Particles. They know that, they've spotted one player aggressing out towards Squeaky. And that means that B most likely is going to be pretty darn free. And now, it's just starter pistols, the retake, although it has been on point for DarkSide so far. With just the starter pistols, I don't see this happening at all. They should just be falling back, not really giving God Particles any more economy to play with. They should just fall back, save nothing, but still deny them those $300 extra per kill that God Particles so desperately need. Their money isn't anything to write home about either.
Well, but they were on eco, right? So you can't really expect much out of them right now. And Rat and Riv, the only two surviving on the CT side, there's not much they can do right now. And Riv is just going to wait around the corner, trying to get one of the guns off, but it's not really going to make a dent. And it's going to get taken down by Knight Rider. And that is going to be the equalizer for God Particles coming in. So a really, really back and forth game coming in from both the sides. Series, they do have the cash to buy up right now if they want to, and they are probably going to do that. What is going to be interesting to see is if Riv goes in for the glass cannon. And alright, he's not going to go in for the glass cannon. So it is going to be the terrorist side with all the utility in the world they need to work with. On the other hand, the series, they only have one flashbang. I don't know why they would want to, prioritize so many smokes over flashbangs. This does not make any sense to me right now.
They wanted to try and go for the fast peak. Chingy again overextending. This man and his affinity for that UMP is proving to be costly. Chingy getting caught off guard time and time again, playing that UMP on the A bomb site. And now again, they have to manage with the man disadvantage.
This is going to be interesting.
It's clear God Particles have done their homework. They've seen what DarkSide like to do on the CT side on Cash, and they've prepared for it. Yes, it's still even Steven, but yesterday, the way DarkSide were playing this map, they looked invincible. I'd shudder to think any team would allow Cash to pass, but God Particles did. They've counter-stratted them pretty well, and it's paying dividends. Scores are all tied. They have the man advantage going into the 11th round here, and God Particles look to be somewhat in cruise control. They're going to be hitting the B bomb site where it's just Faker all alone. Mr. Ahmed, can he go huge? Is the question. He's dead. Mama, he's dead.
Oh, the build-up and the confusion. And look at that. Algorithms is just going to be spraying through the wall in hopes of finding someone, and they're going to fall back and save it up. That was a really good decision coming from the series, realizing they don't have the cash to work with, and God Particles making their way towards the B-bomb, so planting the bomb down and forcing the CTs back. And this is a concept which I've completely forgotten about, saving guns up. Playing all the pucks that I have been playing. Doesn't matter if it's a 1v5, you're going to push in and die, but you're never going to save your weapon up. So, all the series falling back, and the amount of cash they'll have in the next round is going to be pretty decent for them to be able to force up around the 3M. First, Chingy and Faker will probably go in for the... I'd rather actually have one of the guys I'd rather have Chingy or Faker on a deagle with a lot of utility, and Chingy probably on an MP9 or something like that, and just ask him to push somewhere, right? Along with the flashman, throw in a flashman, send one more guy with the M4, try and aggress out and try and get that information going in their favor and maybe make things work. So I'm hoping they can do that. Algorithms is not going to spray through the door, and kind of lucky to walk away with that one.
He literally tanked those bullets, Mamba. He was walking into the spray. That is some next level masochism right there.
That is true. That is absolutely true. And wow, man, I think I've lost out on all my stamina right now. I mean, I would say it's only been 12 rounds and my throat already hurts for some reason. But nonetheless, we have 5 AKs to work with on the terrorist side and all the resources they want. And the series, this is going to be a tough task, and the smoke going towards B main. So, I mean, it's a pretty standard setup coming from both the sides. And I think it's going to be later on play coming from the terrorist side.
And again, they've gone back to their 2-1-2 default. Although Faker, he's playing from vent, so he can, switch his attention between checkers, B main, and mid, which leaves Rat leaves him with a lot of room to focus on different angles towards mid. And but Faker, he needs to really come in huge, because Alganims is going to be all alone towards the B bomb site if he doesn't come in with the assist from vents. It's a very difficult position to play because you have to be aware of so many different angles, so many different positions, and you can get mollied out. It's a very easy position to counter if they have even the slightest of inklings that someone is playing from the vents area. And as of now, it does look like they don't really know where Fakir... Okay, I should just keep my mouth shut.
It's called the commentator's curse, Fed. Or maybe not.
For 1 second, I was going to say I really like what Faker is doing. He's going to go aggressing out B mains and get a lot of information, but he falls back and the A bomb site is just void. And what is... How? I'm confused. After the shots that I saw Rat hit yesterday, I'm genuinely confused how he missed so many this time around. Anyway, Faker upgrades to the M4, but it looks like it's going to be yet another save being called. Riv does tag one player, and Magi, he's going to go up into Shroud Box. And there we go. Shivy Strong does get taken out as a 3v3 retake. It is doable from this point onwards, and it looks like DarkSide are going for it. But there's God Particle Ember. He gets one kill. Magi gets the second, and Ember follows it up with a third. That's the 1-2-3 deadly combo coming out from God Particles, Ember, and Mr. Magi himself. No, Spider. My bad. And that's Dark-Sided Economy again being completely and utterly dumpstered. And we see them having to eco armor pistols at the most. I think they will be on a decent amount of loss bonus. Yep, max loss bonus next round. So they can go for that armor pistol buy. But Rat, he's looking to just one upgraded pistol because he wants that AWP. He wants that zoom banger in his arsenal. And I think we're going to be seeing the double op setup come out from DarkSide next round.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Alchemists is just waiting it out and the P250 to work with. So it's going to be on the backstab. This could be huge, but it's going to get spotted. Will not be able to find the frag. Shiva is going to find it. It's going to be Faker who's going to get absolutely destroyed in the vents. And through the vents as well. So it's going to be Chingirat, Riv on the CD side. Riv would probably want to fall back, try and save that Kevlar up. And nope, he has some other plans, so he's going to wait it out towards him. And the amount of characters CDs have, it's pretty decent. And then let's see, can actually risk it. The Molotov, though, okay, how does that go off?
I mean, they fixed some of the Molotov hitboxes. Now, if it lands like, if the flame just spreads to the edge of the smoke, the main body of the Molotov doesn't get put out anymore. Riv ideally be saving that armor, but instead he takes his face and catches a 7.62 bullet with it, only to find out that it is not one of the most pleasant experiences that this world has to offer, and he makes his way to the next. Well, Rat saving that CZ. Now the op comes out. That CZ can come in handy as a secondary. They're going to have enough money for a full proper buy, the armor, the utility, the guns. I'm just waiting to see if Alganims picks up the AWP as well or not. Yes, he does. Well, call me Nostradamus because I called it. Double up right there. 5-8, DarkSide really need to pick up these final 2 rounds of the half to make it a respectable first half from their own perspective. I should really just stop talking.
Oh boy. Oh boy. DarkSide proving fate wrong round by round, event by event, and somehow they manage to mess things up. And they have 2 ops to work with. Again, I mean, now these ops have to chime in and get those tracks, because if you get into a retake situation with 2 ops to work with, I think that is going to be a nightmare, because you don't want to go in for a retake with 2 ops. It just makes your life so much more harder. So, well, the Terror side having a man advantage. It is going to be an A hit coming up. We have a lurker towards the B bomb side as well. That is going to be Shivai.
Yeah,
Shivi. Just waiting it out. No, Shivi. Is it Shivai?
Oh, I just call him Shivi. I don't know why.
Yeah, that be probably just rhymes with Y, Shivai, Shivi, whatever. But getting back to it, it is going to be Riv who's going to wait it out towards mid, and just falling back. The C4 is going to make its way towards A mains, and they're still waiting for one more pick. Now, this is something I really like coming from God Particles. They're waiting it out. They're not committing to either of these bomb sites. They're not making the mistake of being impatient, just waiting for the CDs to make a mistake, make a play, and try and capitalize on it.
And I think this is what has led to the downfall of DarkSide. They have not been able to adapt to this extremely slow, methodical take of the A bomb side. They've literally gone A like, what, 10 rounds now? And DarkSide have just not been able to counter it. And the fact that they keep going a man down hasn't really done them much favors either. But it's just they do save both the ops, so that's going to still remain in play in the last round of the first half. Alganims does get the kill onto Spider. I mean, the ping difference is huge. Don't get me wrong. The ping difference is always a very real factor in games like this. But they were playing on identical ping yesterday against Virtual Genesis Impact, one of the 2. I keep forgetting. But they played so well. Anyway, one of the ops does get taken out. Riv with the kill onto Ember. 2 players left. Knight Rider does not want to give up that AWP. But what a shot from Riv. Holy hell, that was a beautiful flick onto Shivi. Or Shivai. Shiv, YY. I don't know. I'll just call him Shivi for the time being.
Yeah, for all the new players who are up and coming, please do us casters a favor and please pick simple names, because as casters, sometimes the names get so complicated we end up having tongue twisters, and then we just look like idiots on the stream, and then all of you guys start spamming the chat. But nonetheless, getting back to it right now, that was a really good smoke for the white box, and I hope this is a mid aggression coming in. Otherwise, this smoke is just as useful as, I don't even know, probably Man, I couldn't finish that sentence. Do you want to finish that off for me?
Nope. Nope, I shall not.
Way to make me look bad on the stream, but nonetheless, the Molotov is going to be going in, and Shingi is going to boost it up top towards the shroud box, and well, this is certainly going to be interesting because they are again a man down. Now, this is something you mentioned in the last round itself, right? Every single time in the early round, they go a man down, and then God Particles just go and walk in with a methodical take and try and win the round up. And no one's going to check the shot box, and finally he's going to get taken down. But Riv coming into the refrag, coming in, get the second one as well somehow. And well, it's going to be Shiva who's going to finally find the refrag. Rat missing out on that shot is really uncharacteristic of him, but the nade is going to go in. And he's going to miss out on the second shot as well. It is going to be Spider who's going to make his way towards the bomb side with the C4. He's going to plant it down as well. We have a guy coming from highway, and well, that is going to be a really tough retake for them.
This is going to be difficult. They still have a Molotov left onto Spider, so he can Molotov off the side, but doesn't matter because Knight Rider, he's going to just wreck house for DarkSide. Getting 2 kills, 3 for the round. And I think he got the opening pick as well. And today is just not DarkSide's day. While yesterday it seemed the stars, the planets, the sun, everything, the entire galaxy and the galaxies in the universe had aligned for them. The way they played that CT side and the way they, completely played out that game. Today seems to be not their day, at least on the counter-terrorist side. I mean, I've always noticed that teams with higher ping do better on the T side because they can dictate the pace of the game. It is a lot harder to play CT side with high ping, considering that your reactions are slow, and when the enemy swings on you, you have to have those pinpoint precision flicks and aim to get the kill and hold down your angle. But on the T side, it's a bit easier. It's a bit more forgiving. Let's see if they can turn the tides of this game, because 10-5 DarkSide really need to pick up this pistol, and then they can, start carving their own T side and molding it to the way they like to play it. We didn't get to see them play much of their T side yesterday, considering how dominant the first half they had. Even I'm interested to see what they have up their sleeves when they play the T side. And where is Riv? So he's made his way out onto Forklift because clearly God Particles is playing a retake setup towards the A bomb side. And by the looks of it, DarkSide have all intentions of hitting B. It's going to be a B pincer from mid.
And well,
there we go.
From what it looks like, the CDs are going to have a tough time, trying to contain that, because Magi does have the flash in the kit to work with, but nonetheless, Riv is going to get taken down. Ember going around the corner, trying to find the third one, actually the second one as well. But nope, that is not going to happen. They are going to make their way towards the wins and towards the B bomb side. So it's going to be Shuai allowed to do the most of the work, but nonetheless, we have reinforcements coming in. Spider is going to be there as well, and the flashbang going in, and I really like this aggression from the CTs. That flashbang on point from the CTs, and Knight Rider getting one more frag before being taken down, so it is going to get reduced to a 3v3. Now, Magi does not have Kevlar to work with. Shirai is going to be on the backstab. This could be very interesting if Shirai can get the frags, but right now they're just taking their time because they do have a kit, taking the sweet time, and Shirai is going to make his way towards Checkers area while Rat just waits it out behind the box. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get spotted. And Shirai actually is playing it really good right now. Waiting for the CDs to chime in and then go out and try and find the flag. So Shirai is going to miss out on the shots, and Ember is going to get taken down as well. Shirai getting the first one, getting to get the last one as well. He has to go and pick the kid up as well. So he has to try and get those 2 bullets and make them count. But well, he's going to get taken down. And that is going to be the first round coming up for DarkSide in the second half.
Yeah, and like I said, DarkSide, they needed that pistol round. They did whatever they had to get the job done. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't clean, but all's well that ends well. DarkSide pick up their also important first round of the second half, and now they can actually start building from this point forward. One very curious thing I've noticed, like in the Masters division, all the games that we've cast, if the team has won the pistol round or lost the pistol round, rest assured, they're going to force buy into the next round. But so far, we haven't seen that from God Particles. They've been very disciplined with their money. Again, these are positive changes that I'm noticing in some of these challenger teams. They're playing the economy game very well. And I like DarkSide's emphasis on using utility, but look at that. All right. Spider. He's like, I am tired of living in this cruel mortal world. I'm going to run out and die. And that's exactly what he does. But Magi, in the meantime, what a fadeaway shot with that CZ. That CZ is so OP right now. It's ridiculous how easy it is to kill people with just that pistol. But Major is going to get overrun. But Ember from down under comes out careening around the corner, gets the kill. And again, DarkSide find themselves in a 1v1. Knight Rider, he needs to be careful. The bomb has been planted. Respect knows exactly where Knight Rider is. They know each other's positions. There we go. The CZ comes out. Well, I would have pulled it out as well instead of the UMP. But DarkSide Rat with that AK-47 always going to have the advantage at that specific range.
But, mentioning how OP the CZ is, like a lot of people talk about CZ right now being overpowered. These kids haven't played Counter-Strike 2 years back when it was actually devastating. I mean, this isn't the strongest the CZ has ever been, right? Remember 2014 Fnatic era with JW with the CZ and an AWP? That guy was the most annoying player in the history of Counter-Strike at that point because of just how powerful the CZ was, and with his movement, it was ridiculous. But in the meantime, it is going to be Chingy who's going to make his way towards A bomb side. Knight Rider just waiting it out. And the CTs, I mean, they haven't really been able to capitalize in the anti-eco as well, so they will have to try and, just do as much as economic damage as they can in this round and try and win the next grand round as well. So the terror side, I mean, A bomb side is completely open, so they do know that it is a B stack, and Rat just falling back, realizing that he's about to get mowed down and the CT is falling back. Actually, wait, they're actually pushing up towards mid. We'll try and get as many guns as they can, but nonetheless, it was a pretty easy round coming from DarkSide.
I mean, if Riv just peeks out mid, he's gonna make so much money that he's gonna be counting it well into the next few rounds. Oh, okay. Well, I should just stop talking, Mamba, because he doesn't get a single kill. Anywho, Chingy and Alganims do chime in with quite a few kills, but unfortunately they're all with the pistols. There we go. Finally, Chingy does get a couple with the UMP and the MAC-10. The SMGs chiming in with a quick flurry of kills. And that's enough money in the bank for DarkSide. So even if they lose this round, they have enough to at least go for a decent buy. Okay, I spoke too soon. They're going to invest in the AWP. Chingy is still going to hold on to that. No, he's not. He's going to get the AK-47. All right. So 2 players can buy into the next round while the others will have to stretch. So this is a very important round for both teams. And because of the fact that God Particles had gone for that, very sound economic decision of not buying in the first round, or not forcing into the first round after losing that pistol.
Well,
they have everything under the sun. They have a decent amount of utility. They have the rifles. They have the AWP out under Knight Rider. And now I think DarkSide are in a bit of a fix. They weren't expecting this, quantity of utility to be hurled at them. Neither, I don't think they were expecting to hear the AWP ring out loud and proud either. So they're just reevaluating their plan. Alganim's trying to get a peek, trying to open something up. Oh, just the timing not working out for him. He was marking the same angle, but just unscoping at the worst possible moment.
And, well, I mean, they don't really have any sort of... the series right now, to be precise, don't have any map control. And, well, God Particle, though, they are going to find their first frag. It is Nitro Rider with the AWP chiming in, getting the frag onto Rat, and the Molotov, though, towards the B-bomb side. Alright. I mean, okay. He's going to throw in the Molotov, which doesn't really make sense. And Alganims with the second shot. The flashbang is going to get thrown around, which is going to blind everyone towards B-bombs, along with the second flash coming from the Heavens area. And Shivai has been spotted, but Ember is just gonna jump in with no respect, no regards at all, and it's gonna be Shivai getting the frag on a Rip, gonna get the second as well. Yep, it is going to happen. And God Particles getting the first buy round, and that was actually a pretty decent hold coming from the series towards the B-bomb side.
Well, Chivi just rock solid hold on the B-bomb side, and DarkSide, well, they've seen better days in economically, and that's clear. And all right, we're gonna go for the force buy, and Chingy yet again with that ump. I mean, yes, it used to be a very good gun at one point, but I wouldn't really go for an ump at this point. I would go for a CZ over the UMP. Yes, it's a lot fewer bullets, but it's much faster to get a kill with the CZ and then retrieve a weapon from a fallen enemy than it is with the UMP. But Chingy, he's going to go tread his weary, lonesome way towards Squeaky. But finally, Rat channeling the form that we witnessed him hit yesterday and gets that opening kill. Man advantage with DarkSide for the first time in I don't know how many rounds. And as I say that, Faker goes and dies, but little cheeky block there from Shivi. He's gonna get taken down, but oh, what a smart smoke. And Riv gets tagged down to what, 11 HP as well. And Shivi again being the Rock of Gibraltar at the B bomb side. Ember chiming in with that op. And now it's all down to Rat in a 1v3. Shivi very low, but it's not gonna matter. Oh, the luck. The luck. Magi barely surviving. And Shivi, 4k on 12 HP. Somebody give this man a raise. That was beautiful.
Well, he's proving me wrong round after round, and every single time that he does, I actually get, a part of me gets really happy inside, just due to the fact that this guy has worked really hard to improve, and it's actually showing. Results take some time to show up, and this guy has just been one of those guys that you could use as a role model for at least challenger teams or Sarika players, and be like, you know what, this kid, he wasn't a very good player 4 or 5 months back what, in January, but right now this guy is actually showing up and actually playing pretty decent Counter-Strike. Even the textbook is not making mistakes, he's not giving out those easy frags, he's making sure that the third side has to work really hard to try and get his frag. But in the meantime, when I say that, one of the guys on the CD side is going to go down to a Glock, and Ember with a 3k gets a 4k as well. Look at that. That was such a good hold coming in from him. And guarding the left and the right side at the same time, all along, guarding the red container while being boosted up. So how it's going to be Nitroid is going to get saved. Is actually going to find the frag on the Faker. And well, that is going to be the 13th round for coming up for God Particle. So these guys have actually really practiced really hard. So it's actually showing off, and that is something that's really nice. And I think DarkSide have a technical issue again.
Yeah, it is. They are playing from Kuwait after all, and routing from Kuwait to India, I'm quite certain won't be the best. But then again, has to be better than what, because we've seen the Pakistan, Portal Esports, their pings were just all over the place. It's the routing from the Middle East to India is not that great. We've seen Risky play, and now Nasser play in the ESL India Premiership. Their online games were always a toss-up. Sometimes their VPNs would work, and they had very good VPNs, by the way, but just the routing would keep switching, and it was always a big pain in the backside for them to get stable pings. Some days they'd be playing on 200, some days they'd be playing on 120, and, well, didn't matter to them because Nasser, they just beat everybody. But DarkSide, I think they're still not there at the level of Risky or Nasser. Well, and Portal, well, their ping was a completely different story. It was just highly unfortunate that they were always lagging. But again, you decide to play in the ESL India Premiership, you have to abide by the rules of the tournament, and the rules clearly state that you have to play on Indian servers. So knowing that, they still came, and all props to them. They fought hard. They had some very good results. They beat Entity, one of the best teams in the country, and they beat them convincingly. And not just that, they fought till the very bitter end. And respect where respect is due. Portal Esports, you have earned a new fan. And DarkSide, while they looked extremely promising yesterday, today they have looked off color. And God Particles, I have to say, I am mighty impressed with what you have brought to the table today.
Well, that's true. That is true. And I actually want to point out one of the things. And in the meantime, the third side is actually going to make their way towards the B bombs. And I really like this aggression from the CTs. I mean, look at that. They expected something fancy coming out from DarkSide with the tactical timeout coming, by the way. So I think Bulls will have to pay a little more attention to the game. And know for a fact, but oh, look at that, the amount of information the CDs have. They know it's a B hit coming in. They know that it's a B hit coming in, and well, the rotation is going to be coming in as well. It's going to be Nitroid falling back. He's not going to take any sort of damage, and it's going to be Riv is going to go down. Shiva is going to go around the corner trying to find the second frag. He's going to get it. Rad is going to get taken down, and that is just going to be devastating for the Terrier. Shiva is going to get reduced to 90 points of health, and that's going to be Magi. He's going to be coming in. The flashbang coming up. He's going to be falling back. This is going to be interesting to see how it actually pans out. But In the meantime, the series taking the sweet time. Now, this is where all the retakes of our practice comes in, right? But Shiva is going to get taken down, being the bait for his team because he was on 90 points of fill, and Magi is going to find the frag on the Chingy, and the retake. Oh boy, that was so beautiful to watch.
Teams, I have to say, both these teams, the way they've been retaking this B bomb site is just textbook. It is so good. The utility usage, their timing, the way they're peeking together, trading for their teammates, the positive baits that's going on. It brings a tear of happiness to my eye to see like this level of Counter-Strike, at least one facet being played to this level in the Challenger division, because we've been casting the Master Series for so long, and trust me, I haven't seen this level of a quality retake being done consistently on any map in the Masters division so far. So clearly, even these Challenger teams bring something new to the table, bring something different to the table, and something that these Masters teams should actually be paying close attention to, because they can learn a thing or two from their comrades one tier below in the Indian CSGO ladder.
That is true, and I've seen worse retakes of the Masters League, to be very honest. So this is really commendable when you see these kind of things in the Challenger League. But the amount of damage that has been dealt to the series side right now, Ember, Knight, and Magi, being taken down to almost half HP right then. Spider is gonna spot Rat. He's not, and Rat has absolutely no idea. I think he did spot him. The flashback. Oh my God, this is beautiful. This was beautiful. I don't know if you guys noticed it on stream, but it was Spider who spotted the guy at mid. He asked for a flashbang before peak, and that was just so beautiful. I'm loving this Counter-Strike which is being played out right now, Fed.
Yeah, it was very good. Like, just having that presence of mind to call for that flash that allowed Spider to peek and get that kill. Unfortunately, he did get traded, but the intent was good. It was the right play, and that's what I would like more teams to promote in the country. And Shivi, again, the intent was right. He peeked out with a flash. It wasn't the best of flashes, but that doesn't really matter, because as long as you're making the right decisions, you're gonna come out on top eventually. Magi will get forced off, but he's burning alive. He's burning alive. Fresh kebab for days, Alganims. I think Magi just overstaying his welcome, but Knight Rider, he's made his way out towards heaven. Hasn't really scoped up to give up his position. He's going to drop down. That's going to be a sheer dead giveaway, but he's so very low, but he knows where Riv is. But Riv is gonna peek out and just hand Knight Rider a good old scalping. And DarkSide finally win another round on their T side. I think it's their first round after God Particles actually started buying into these rounds. But God Particles, the fact that the previous few rounds have come so close, they don't have all the money in the world to go for another buy. This is going to be their last buy. So this, it's not over for DarkSide. There's still a way back into this map, provided they can win this next round.
That's true, that is true. Provided they can win, obviously. But if they win this one, I think it's done and dusted for the Terror side. They won't have any sort of money to work with. So I think this is going to be the round which will break or make the game. Because also I just said the other way around, make or break the game. But nonetheless, I think the match is spamming through the door, trying and hoping to find a frag. But he's going to fall back, taking things really slowly. The series are going to be really passive. The C4 is on the T-base. We have a guy marking the B-bomb side with the op. That is going to be Riv. And how does he get taken down over there? That was such a good shot from Nitro Rider coming in. And if I'm not mistaken, that was, I think he was on top of this top sign towards the B-bomb side. But in the meantime, Nitro Rider is going to go down as well. So the refrag coming in. And Spider is just going to be waiting it out. So this is going to be interesting to see if the CDs will be able to hold this off, because the Terror side, they don't have decent weapons to work with. They have a UMP, a Khalil. Magi is in a really good spot as well. And Rat is going to get taken down through the door. It's going to be Chingy who's going to go down as well. And these guys are playing perfect Counter-Strike right now. Look at Faker who's going to get burned alive, but Alkanims all alone in a 1v4. Can he pull this off? Nope, that is going to be the answer. It is going to be the map point coming in and the match point for God Particles. And that was a really, really good round coming from them.
I'm really beginning to enjoy what God Particles are bringing to the table, Mamba. I won't lie. They're playing cash better than some of the Masters team we've seen play this map. And if God Particles make it to the Masters division, I can say with the utmost of certainty that they have earned their spot to play in the big leagues after watching them play in this map. I just hope that they can bring the same level of consistency, good communication, which is key for the kind of game that they're playing right now. to other maps and hopefully have a map pool which is broader and deeper than just cash. I just hope that happens.
That would be really surprising if they can carry on the same kind of gameplay, game style in 3 different maps. I think they will be the team to beat in the Masters League, even though, you know, this might sound like a really big statement, but the way these guys have been, this just reminds me of Too Easy from the fall season, right? This is exactly what Too Easy was doing, playing textbook Counter-Strike and playing it right. But in the meantime, Nitro is going to find the flag onto Faker, and I don't even know why Faker was on that spot right there. But Ember is just going to prime the Molotov up, wait for a signal from his teammate that they are coming in. And Matcha is actually going to have the Molotov as well to work with, so I'm not quite sure why is this in the chill peak. I mean, you could just probably fall back dry and jump around, but Spider towards the B-bomb side. So all of these guys, they have fortified. They actually have a line going through. It's going to be a really, really tough take coming from the Terror side.
Yeah, and it looks like they have bunched up towards the B-bomb side. Chingy's just here to sell a fake. But it doesn't really matter because they don't have the weaponry. And there's the flank. That's just that the Lurk was a bit too over-eager in my opinion. He was supposed to sell a fake, but instead he just handed his life on a silver platter. And now he's going to come down to Mr. Spider and Shivi. Shivi going to get Ulganim. Shivi going to get taken down as well. But Spider, he's made his way to relative safety, gets the bomb down. And now it's all down to Mr. Riv with the CZ. He's going to go out. Well, he's going to go out rather timidly. Knight Rider shooting him in the back. Down he goes, and that's 16-9 in favor of God Particles. What an impressive performance. Mamba, any closing words?
I think God Particles just surprised me, and they played really, really good Counter-Strike. I mean, before the match went on, right, I did predict that it's going to be a single-digit matchup, but in the favor of DarkSide, but they proved me absolutely wrong, and they actually won this 16-9. So overall, except for praises, I don't have anything else to say for God Particles. But well, that is going to be it from the matchup. We are going to head back to the studio where we have Wakish and Harsh, who are going to break it down and break the match down for us. And well, over to you boys in the studio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL India Premiership Challenger Series studio segment. And, well, God Particles turned out to be a clear winner, 16-9, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a very promising team. Don't you think so, Anish?
Indeed. Like I said before, Shivi's got great potential. The team has great potential. They showed DarkSide their true colors. Definitely, if God Particle had to be renamed, they should be the DarkSide more than anything, unless and until we are talking about the Rebel Alliance. It would have been a great match if God Particle was called Rebel Alliance for that point of matter. But all in all, great game. Total spanking in are these words there. Didn't allow DarkSide to even hit double figures there. Blockade in all the choke points of the map. So I really liked the way God Particle carried themselves forward, and I expect to see them in Masters soon in the fall season.
Well said, Godslayer. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's CSGO for you. Stay tuned because we have DOTA 2 next in line.
They say gaming is easy. They say this is not a job. They say it's a waste of time. But we kept at it.
right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ESL India Premiership 2018 Summer Season Challenger League going on right about now. We're showcasing some really good matches in the Challenger League here. We have a Dota 2 match in the offing. Two interesting. Okay, I've been told the microphone is low. Okay. So, first of all, huge shout out to amazing sponsors, Omen by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and ESL India and Norton Gaming presenting this amazing hullabaloo of esports to you. Dota 2 match in the offing here. Let's start off with the first team here, LXG. Wow, I haven't seen Saurabh Saha in quite some time. In fact, last, if I remember, Saurabh Saha used to be known as Milky. Can production correct me if I'm wrong? Saurabh Saha was earlier known as Milky. Now he's become Deliverance. Plays for LXG there. Let's take a look at the opposition here, Vibe. Alright, somebody's been watching CW's Flash a lot. Team Vibe there. I hope they have trans-dimensional travel also. And if you're catching these small rumbling sounds, that's a League Ops Anuj Bhutani there on his Enfield, which guzzles more fuel, creates more sound, but doesn't give the mileage. Rest assured, you should not buy such vehicles which give less mileage, especially in a country like India. But what's going to give you the mileage here tonight is the Dota 2 game we have for you guys, LXG versus Vibe. Let's see what's happening there.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the ESL India Premiership. We got the Challenger playoffs upon us. We got Vibe facing off versus LXG. There are a bunch of teams from Southeast Asia contending for a slot in the Masters. I know there's Neon Atomic and Detonator taking part in the Challenger playoffs. For now, it's an all-Indian face-off. The LXG lineup, I mean, it's a new lineup. LXG is fielding a team. Deliverance is leading them from the front. Deliverance did find a lot of success last year playing in the Cobex Masters, where he ended up winning with Go Figure, Archmage's earlier lineup a couple of teams ago. This should be a fun one. My name is Vivek. With me is Floki. How's it going, Floki?
It's going just fine. Vibe versus LXG. This should be an interesting match. Vibe is an SEA team, as far as I
No,
know.
no, 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 no. They're Indian.
Oh, they're Indian.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They are Indian. Familiar names, and I did do as much research as I can. I definitely recognize some of the names that have been a part of the roster at some stage. They are Indian.
Okay, I see. So first pick Undying and Pangolia into Sand King into Apparition. Little concern for the Spangolia if he goes to the offlane alone, but I do presume that Undying will be helping him out. He's gonna have some trouble because he's gonna be leaning against Chilling Touch with Sand King. You get any sort of early carry who can set up kills, maybe something like the Slark with the pounce, and that's most certainly a Pangolia dead if he does not have Swashbuckle. So,
Yeah.
why do have to be careful how they run this dual lane bottom. Good news is that this Undying is going to be really helpful though, because Undying is going to be hard to go on if you're LXG. He's going to get those 2-man, 3-man DKs off and have that bonus 200, 250 HP coming in. And also those extra right-click damage to dish out if they do try to overextend. And Ancient Apparition is not the tankiest of heroes, so in fact, if he gets a bit too eager and gets out of position, he could end up falling.
Absolutely. Uh, it's also that you have this one extra element in your team fight that you can play around, right? You drop the tombstone, hopefully in a somewhat decent position around the team fight. Enemies go to destroy it or deal with it or run away from it, and then you got Rolling Thunder to just cause more chaos in these team fights. It's not a team fight that thrives on AoE and lockdown, but it is a hard team
Yeah.
fight to go up against.
Even though it's just early on. I actually remember having a word with Deliverance, and I remember him mentioning how he likes to play around the Shadow Shaman and just drop the Mass Serpent wards, have it hit the tower, have enemies baited to deal with the wards, and then use that as your opportunity to get the team fight
10
going.
seconds remaining.
Yep. Ideally, when you're looking for team fights, you
5
either want one
seconds
of two things. You either
remaining.
want to overwhelm your opponent with a number of units, or you want to make sure you have enough disabled for all of them.
Yeah.
This is why heroes like Earthshake and Undying shine. Undying is really the kind of guy who puts so many units on the battlefield. You have zombies to deal with, you have Tombstone. If you don't take the Tombstone down, it can actually do some serious damage in team fights. And LX3, they haven't shown the best heroes to deal with the Tombstone just yet.
Yep. Yeah, I like heroes that can take down the Tombstone
10
without commitment.
seconds
Uh,
remaining.
the one hero that comes to mind is the Visage, but
5
you don't want to
seconds
forcefully just pick up a
remaining.
Visage just so that you have familiars to deal with the Tombstone or such and such.
Yeah,
I
not a
like
big
the
fan of the.
go on.
I'm not a big fan of the Juggernaut pick here either. I mean,
Revealing it this early, or
you're revealing it this early, that, and like on top of that, if you look at Wives, Juggernaut is more of sort of an answer pick to an offlaner that you can't really deal with. Pangolier is not one of those offlaners against whom you want to pick a Juggernaut, mostly because he can just swashbuckle away. You ideally want to pick carries that are able to zone him out a little bit better, so he has a worse laning phase, and something that also deals with Undying. I don't think Juggernaut, Sand King, Ancient Apparition will be able to kill Undying unless it's level 1 and Undying walks a bit too far forward. It's the only scenario in which I see this Undying or Pangolier dying.
I agree with you with this Juggernaut pickup. I mean, you win the safe lane a bit. You make sure Juggernaut gets phase a killer wand or whatever,
Yep.
and then as suppose you want to leave the lane, but Pangolier can still cause issues for Juggernaut with just I
10
don't know
seconds
a point in heart
Swashbuckle.
piercer, swashbuckle, and some mana to work
5
with.
seconds
So
Indeed.
remaining.
it's like I want to say that Juggernaut in the right hands can lane versus a lot of heroes,
Yep.
but this isn't going to be that easy.
Yeah. I did my best to picking Juggernaut up a few patches ago, 2, 3 Thursday patches back. Uh, more importantly, the critical strike damage hadn't been nerfed, and there were still a lot of good things about the Jug that have been nerfed of late. So he's not one of the best carry heroes at the moment. I feel something like Slark is really good in this meta. Uh, Heroes that can just sort of come online earlier with a little bit of farm are really good, and this is where the Juggernaut shines. So I guess maybe that's why they picked the Juggernaut so that they can fight early on with the Blade Fury,
Okay.
and maybe take down heroes on the side of Y. But why we're picking really tanky heroes? They go with the Go Kunkka as well, so even that's gonna have a hard time dying against these heroes unless they get the perfect jump in with the Epicenter and Ice Blast.
Yeah. Speaking of how the Juggernaut got slightly nerfed, we are playing the latest patch, and Kunkka did get buffed up. Level 25, minus 1.5 second cooldown on Tidebringer. Uh, it's quite strong actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to call that a buff though. In
I
all
mean,
honesty,
so I don't know. Like it is strong. Like I think that
yeah.
reduced cooldown is better than the previous talent that he had at level 25, which is the Tidebringer damage itself.
I mean, in all honesty, I feel like the
10
cleave was a
seconds
lot of
remaining.
damage. 50% cleave at in the late game
5
is.
seconds
I mean, say you deal
remaining.
1,000 damage to a target. Now, the way cleave works is it ignores armor, right? So you right-click the target. How much ever damage you deal to the target before reductions, that's going to be amplified by 50%, and then that's going to be dealt to the enemy. So it used to be a lot of damage. I mean, I think it was close to say a Daedalus' worth of damage
Doesn't
in the late game.
Tidebringer ignore armor as well?
Yeah, Tidebringer does ignore armor.
So
I
yeah,
mean, Tidebringer has a cleave, so it works that way, and they pick up the anti-mage. So, I mean, even more insurance for vibe over here. And I like this anti-mage tracker because it can zone out the underlord. That's the one thing with mana burn. The second thing is that it scales very well into the late game where LXG seem to be somewhat lacking at the moment. I mean, Juggernaut is great and
Vibe.
all, but
Oh, LXG. Okay, yeah.
yeah. And LXG at the moment, it seems like they're somewhat lacking in the late game. So maybe they look to fix that with the last pick. Probably something like an Invoker wouldn't be too bad, but Invoker versus Kunkka is not a matchup that Invoker wins because once Kunkka has 6, that Invoker is dying.
We are assuming that this is a core Kunkka.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I
I mean,
completely
I don't
forgot
know.
about
LXG banned out a mid laner, so we could both be wrong here.
it. Yep. No, I mean, I think they're just banning out the bad matchups for Kunkka. They banned out the Shadow Fiend, they banned out the Slark and the Ember Spirit. Think,
Oh, okay. You think it's
what
a
what
mid
could...
Kunkka? I mean, there are a bunch of
Yeah,
heroes that
mid
could still
Kunkka.
cause problems for Kunkka.
Yeah, but there are 4 melee heroes on the side of Vibe. I would like to see them punish somewhat with some sort of a control hero. Actually, this is one of those games where a mid Earthshaker wouldn't be too bad because of all the control it provides in lockdown. Sure, the Undying Doomstone is hard to deal with, but a simple Shadow Blade early on can fix that, so you don't have to get hit by those zombies, and you can always go in and find that Echo Slam because you're against 4 melee heroes.
You saying Vibe should be looking to pick up a range support at this stage?
I mean, it doesn't matter what Vibe picks now because they've already committed with 4 melee
I,
heroes, and
I think they still, yeah, but if you're looking for a support, a range support, I
yeah.
really don't mind something like the Lion or the Shaman. Maybe Shaman if they want to push early on and take that chance. I just personally think that Lion or even Bane is a lot stronger. Bane could set up for the Torrent if Kunkka wants to rotate up top, assuming, of course, that this is a mid Kunkka. Just keep the Underlord busy as much as possible, and even
Yep.
control that Juggernaut in his Fiend's Grip, in his Blade Fury.
They're gonna go for Wind Ranger instead, so it's gonna be a support Kunkka, it seems like.
Yep. Okay.
Or a support Wind Ranger, an offlane Wind Ranger. I mean, I have no clue at this point, in all
It
honesty, but that
is.
should be a support Kunkka.
Yeah, it's a support Kunkka, probably a mid ranger. So I've noticed that Vibe have a couple of players from Mumbai, or at least had a couple of players from Mumbai, and it's primarily teams from Mumbai that love the mid ranger for some strange reason. And Alexi, they're gonna pick up the Lena. Hmm.
Okay.
Uh.
I guess the free spirit of Mumbai vibes well with the free spirit of Wind Ranger.
Okay, so it's a 4 position Sun King, which I'm okay with. Deliverance, their in-game leader,
Still-
so to say,
Okay.
playing the four
So he's the
position.
offlaner?
No, he's playing the
No,
four
no,
position.
yeah, yeah. He's playing the full position, my bad.
Spooky Monster
Well,
is heading to the offlane with the Underlord, and Shady is heading mid on the Lena. Um,
Lina versus Wind Ranger. Now, this is a good matchup for the Lina actually because of all her extra range. Wind Ranger's gonna have a hard time zoning her out.
no, man. I think a better Wind Ranger would win this matchup. I really think so.
Okay, maybe it's gonna be. I think it can go both
It,
ways
it can
actually.
go both ways, but I think I don't know. It can really go both ways. I'm
Hmm.
just siding with the Wind Ranger for this one, but okay.
All right. So
Um, Lack of lockdown though on Vibes lineup.
yeah,
They haven't got too much control. Uh,
yeah. Both lineups in fact lack us somewhat in terms of control. So you have the chilling, you have the Cold Feet Sand King combination. Like you can Power Strike into Cold Feet. You also have the Underlord route to help you out. But it's hard to set up stuns for this Lina, I've noticed, unless he gets himself something like a Shadow Blade. He's probably gonna get himself a Yules this game. I mean, it's really useful against the Wind Ranger. You can just toss her up into the air when she's attacking you and just run away, or
yep,
maybe set up for a kill of your own using your LSA.
yep. Also good
She's also,
versus the Kunkka.
yeah, also
Oh,
really good against the Tombstone.
the Yules.
No, not the Yules,
Oh,
the Lina. I mean, the Lina as a hero because
oh,
you have all
okay.
that bonus attack speed.
Yeah. Yules also somewhat good versus the Bangalore. You can cancel Rolling Thunder while it's being casted, and probably set up and turn the fighter around. Down bottom Vibe just walking up towards the dire secret shop. They're gonna claim that bounty rune,
Yep.
and it's two bounty runes for either side. Up top, Blaze puts his first point in a swashbuckle. Doesn't quite reveal it just yet to his opponents, but he's gonna have a hard time in this off lane. I mean, increasingly, I've been noticing that Pangoliers. I mean, the Pangolier is a great hero, but it's not the easiest time for him in the off lane.
Indeed. The
Look at
good
his
thing is
HP, man.
though,
500 HP. If he's out of position, he's just going to end up falling.
yeah, he's about as tanky as a Crystal Maiden actually, even less tanky than a Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden has 524 HP and Pangolier has 506. The good part about this though, is like in some aspects he's like the Terrorblade similar to him. Top lane though.
Look at this. Yeah, they're going to try and bring him down. He's got the swashbuckle. He's going to try and run. Mino chasing. Doesn't have the movement speed. But yeah, the Mango build is still popular. Even though it went down from 0.7 to 0.6 a couple of patches ago, and now from 0.6 HP region to 0.5. So he's got an additional HP region of 1.5, which isn't really... I don't agree with this build, actually.
I mean,
Not
it's
in
better
this
than buying a
patch.
Ring of Regen. Yeah, definitely not in this patch. I think the more merits to getting yourself items like the salve and extra tangles.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And look at what the Pangolier is trying to do here. I'm not sure what the idea is. And Milky knows. He's going
Deliverance
forward. He
is...
found
Yeah,
him.
he's reading him like a book. He's found Blaze. Blaze swashbuckles further north. Now he's got a TP. And Deliverance has to walk through some trees. But Blaze might just get out of here. I'm not really sure. The swashbuckle is on cooldown. The creep wave is far away. But Blaze is going to have another swashbuckle in a bit. He might end up falling. Nope.
Nah, he's
Unlikely
gonna be
that he
okay.
falls, actually.
Unless they fall into Burrow Strike, he could actually end up. Nah, there's
Level 1
Swashbuckles at
Burrow
low ground
Strike.
and he's okay. Yeah, but none of this matters because Pangolier is not getting any XP top. The Juggernaut is doing a really good job of controlling the creeps.
Both offlaners have gone for a trip around the map, and this time Spooky Monster somehow ended up at the top rune. I don't know how an Underlord came all the way here, but okay.
Yeah. They like exploring the world.
Absolutely.
Free
It's
spirits.
also a base trip for Blaze, and now he picks up a salve. So, I think Blaze, instead of these 3 mangoes, would be better off just trying to rush a soul ring. Starting out with the gauntlets, trying to build towards that early soul ring. Then you get the potential to just spam out swashbuckle to secure CS every now and then. Speaking of CS, the mid lane still close, leaning slightly towards the Wind Ranger.
Yep. It is even like you said the matchup.
Yeah, there's a slight
anyone
EXP
really.
advantage towards the Wind Ranger, but
Yeah.
it's only because Lina left her lane to go salve up.
Yep. Curious to see what the Lina has in her career. Let's just have a quick look. I think it's the... Okay, so it is the Salve and the extra null talisman. So he's gonna have a better time just right-clicking down the Wind Ranger and getting last hits. And as a Lina, you have really crappy base attack time. It's super long. While Wind Ranger has a really good base attack time, so I think that's one of the bigger reasons why this Wind Ranger is winning her lane so convincingly.
I think
Pangolier?
Angle is just he's getting pounded away upon by this ancient apparition. He's got a salve, and now he's got 3 mangoes and a tango to work with. Down bottom, Deliverance does end up falling. He's trying to enable his offlane as much as possible. I'm a bit surprised that Deliverance left the safe lane. But yeah, this is only going to help him get closer and closer towards that level 3, get that second point in Burrow Strike, and then eventually, soon enough, he's probably going to try and shut down this Pangolier. Blaze going to hit level 2 himself soon enough. Deliverance really valuing movement speed, boots and windlays, which I somewhat...
Bottom lane?
I missed that.
Never mind.
I saw the
That's
Underlord
okay.
die. But yeah, Deliverance really valuing movement speed and positioning early on with the boots and the windlays. Blaze, he's hit level 2.
Yeah.
And
Moving up in the world, slowly but surely.
Yeah. The Underlord is doing not much better. So,
I mean...
both offlane is not getting too much really.
Yeah, he has the level 1 Firestorm, but the problem with the level 1 Firestorm is it still doesn't kill the entire creep wave. It doesn't even kill an entire creep. So he's gonna have some trouble laning here up until at least he gets his level 3. And he gets that bonus damage from Atrophy Aura going. A good idea early on is to just stand near the creeps even though they get denied, wait for your atrophy aura to kick in, and then try to run at the supports to zone them out. That really enables you to get some XP as Underlord. But nevertheless, he's lasting pretty well actually, with all the bonus damage he does up top.
And now they're looking to make a go up on bottom. Nono's got to be careful. They've got the chilling touch. Nono. An Ice Vortex would help, but I don't think it's going to be enough, even if it does connect.
I mean, this is such a poorly executed gang. They just started running together. The Ancient Apparition, first of all, people. It should have been Milky on the front lines with the chilling touch.
Yeah. They're still
Looks
trying
like
to
they still
punish
might find
Nono.
it done.
They've got the Power Strike, they've got the cold feet. I'm not sure if they have the damage. The taunt on the floor will clip one, only delivered. Soul Rip healing up. No, he's going to be okay. And both these supports leave their Juggernaut, move bottom, and don't get too much thought. The Juggernaut, the good news is that he's farming. Leading the CS shots, he's hit level 6.
I mean, even though Pangolia has a free time now, he's still gonna have to pull the wave like this.
What the hell? I mean, Spooky Monster just ended up falling. He's going to be somewhat pleased that I didn't catch his second death within the span of 6 minutes on camera. Because I was looking at mid, where Deliverance is trying to set up onto this Wind Ranger. He's got that second point in Burrow Strike. Maybe this time the Burrow Strike does connect. Up top Blaze, just pulling the enemy creep wave. This is something that Skylark likes to do a lot in the offlane.
Yep.
He's pulling the enemy creep wave until the 17-minute mark. Every wave just goes to try and pull it as soon as possible and just mess with the equilibrium. I've seen Skylark do that a fair amount on Clutch Gamers. He does it almost every wave once the supports sleep.
I mean, he sort of has to, right? Because you're behind on farm, you're behind on AXP. If you just stand against the Juggernaut in lane, he will right-click you down, he will try to kill you. So instead of risking losing so much HP and trading hits, you just pull the creep wave and get your levels going.
What do you think of Pitlord as a hero? I'm not such a fan of him anymore.
Was that intentional?
I don't know.
So here's the thing, right? He's a really beefy hero who's really strong against physical damage and has a guaranteed teleport out. That guaranteed teleport out aspect about Pit Lord is so strong because you don't like a team fight that you don't like the way a team fight is going. You can just TP out of there with the max level ulti. It only takes 4 seconds to channel, and you have to kill Pit Lord to stop it, or Pit Lord has to stop it himself. No other way you can stop them from getting back to base. I think that's really what makes Pitlord so strong. And then you add all these utility spells that he has, including Firestorm, that's a wave clear. And in Dota, anything that pushes a creep wave and clears creep waves is super valuable. So Firestorm is a great spell in that regard as well.
Well, Undying, Cold Creed will proc upon him, but Deliverance has got to be careful. They've got the focus fire, they're trying to break down the Sand King with the Soul Rip. They get the kill. It was LFG setting up for a kill in mid, but they're the ones who end up losing. Support and Shady. He's got movement speed, no mana, and he's going to sacrifice Parasite just so that he can escape. Parasite on the Ancient Apparition has got to be careful. There is a taunt coming through. It's going to clip, and with the power shot, they get a kill. Supports on the side of LFG move mid, and they end up dying. And I think it's because of this Observer Ward near the Radiant Ancients. Not really too sure when this was planted, but I think that gave them the vision they need. And
really good Observer Ward too because it's scouting out the Sand King rotations.
yeah, they scouted out the Sand King and the A moving mid. The supports themselves rotated, found themselves a quick set of kills, and now they're looking to move towards bottom. It's a brawl in bottom lane. The Soul Rip is there, but the Undying doesn't have too much else to offer. So, you know, sometimes as supports, you get pressured into making moves because your offlaner isn't really winning a lane. And I think Deliverance and Parasite are feeling somewhat pressured to move towards the offlane and help out Spooky Monster. This time, they've smoked and they moved mid. They're looking to bring down the Wind Ranger. There is a significant net worth difference between the Wind Ranger and the Lina, but look at the... Oh, I mean... Never mind. I missed that one as well.
Yeah,
it's early.
It's alright. You found the one. You found the one on the top lane, right?
No, I was looking mid because the Wind Ranger is actually starting to win mid, Floki. And the network deficit is starting to show. I'm going to bring down EXP as well. Yeah, there is a 2-level difference between the Lina and the Wind Ranger. So LXG, they're losing too many lanes, more lanes than they'd like to. Deliverance getting controlled by the X marks the spot, but it's the Lina who falls at mid. Okay.
Yep. Oh,
And the
Torrent's 2-man.
Tusk clip. Okay.
Of
So,
Warlock.
Alex, you're going to be a little disappointed about this. Uh, as a support, this is when I get tilted personally. When I'm not able to win 2 out of 3 lanes. And the mid lane is getting harder and harder for that Lina.
Top lane as well.
Nino. He did commit the Omni Slash, but didn't really find the kill. Down bottom, Burrow Strike onto the attack. They're going to try and bring him down. X marks the spot and Torrent will control Deliverance. They're turning towards Deliverance, and with the Mana Void, Catalyst finds himself a mega kill. The Soul Rip setting up for the Ancient Apparition. Beautiful stuff coming out from Vibe here. You know why this hurts, Floki? Because
Why?
Deliverance has recognized how much he needs to win at least another lane other than the safe lane, and that's really hurting his EXP. 9 minutes in, he's level 3.
I think they made the incorrect attempt going bottom because he was against Undying. Undying is not really gonna allow anyone to fall in his lane, especially because of the build he went for. With the second point in Soul Rip, he's gonna keep all his members alive. So you just try to focus your attention mid where you can chain stun the Wind Ranger down. And it's actually quite easy to kill the Wind Ranger once you get that cold feet off, and with the help of the LSA, there's enough damage to bring her down. But now it's a bit too late because she's tankier. She found a Aquila, she has phase boots, she has a fairy fire and wand charges. So this Wind Ranger is not dying now. You kind of missed your window.
I mean, they went mid twice, right? They once went and ended up dying. The second time they smoked, and instead the Wind Ranger just ran down the Lina. That's another aspect about playing this Lina versus the Wind Ranger, is that ADP can just start with a focus fire and run down Shady if he wants to. They're going to force out TP's mid, but just dropping the X marks the spot. Vibe, not really force the issue here. Pangolier, he's lost a star. Juggernaut found what he was looking for, I presume. But Place is getting EXP. He's gonna hit 6 before the Underlord. And he hasn't got as much net worth as the Underlord, but he's not gonna be too bothered. Just by hitting 6, the Pangoliers are forcing team fights. Just with that Rolling Thunder. Deliverance, he's woken up to the fact that he needs to play catch up.
Yep. I think at this point you just pray to get your blink at a reasonable timing, around 17 minutes with the help of the Sandstorm. Once you have the blink, you start making moves on the map. But up until then, you have to play a bit passive if you are LXG.
Yep. Looking to try and punish Spooky Monster. Thought actually clips the Juggernaut. Nicely done there by the Kuka.
Yep.
Shady looking to get involved and much rather prefer that he just keeps mid pushed up. He's left mid and ADP is getting a little bit of damage done on this tier 1 tower. So Lina probably wants to be sitting mid now.
Yep.
Look
I
at
mean,
this.
she's gonna find the tower. If we can find the deny. Oh, perfectly timed.
That is actually quite crucial because you get no gold for denies anymore. I mean, you get no gold if the enemy tower gets denied anymore.
Yep.
Better.
That's the best part about these denies. I mean, your mid laner, he can push the tower into you, but at least you can deny him the gold aspect of it while you can't deny him map control. Now, the anti-mage has moved top in search of his Battle Fury, but... okay, so his team is around him, so this is okay. As long as you have supports helping you out. Sandstorm?
Rolling
I mean,
Thunder,
Sand King.
forcing Deliverance out of the Sandstorm. It clips the Sand King perfectly with the Mana Void that bring down Deliverance. 12 minutes in, Deliverance, level 4, looking to catch up, get EXP. Ends up falling in his own safe lane. They're going to trade safe lane tower for safe lane tower, I presume, provided that Vibe gets this tier 1. It may Lina's just trying to return the favor onto the Wind Ranger.
Yeah,
This is
Wind
actually
Ranger.
such an advantage as a mid laner when you've taken down the enemy tier 1 tower and you have that space to move around the map.
Yep, that's the best part. Gives you so much more map control. Now, they are trading towers for towers, but at the moment, it seems that LXG are ahead in terms of towers. So they have that going for themselves. I mean, they found the safe... Okay, no, wait, mid lane tower is still standing, so they're somewhat even, actually. But
No, Blaze are ahead in terms of tower. Both safe lane towers have fallen and... sorry, what am I saying? Vibe are ahead in terms of towers. Vibe has got the mid tier 1. And both teams have traded the safe lane towers.
Yeah, the safety tower is slightly a bit more crucial for Radiant because of the access it gives you to these two camps. Really good to have those right beside lane, the ability to hop into them after clearing creep waves, but Anti-Mage is not going to have that now. He's not going to feel safe. Because look at this, Underlord and Juggernaut waiting right in the trees. It's just a hard kill to get. I'm not sure what the idea is. I think the idea is to bait the Anti-Mage into
This
blinking
kill
into the unknown
isn't really
territory.
possible without something like a Sand King Blink and an Ancient Apparition level 6.
It is possible if the Anti-Mage blinks. Like, that's what they're hoping for here, really. They try to make the anti-mage blink, and once they're able to do that, they can find the kill.
Okay. In a sense, Juggernaut is actually making space for Sand King. Down bottom, Spooky Monster. Trying to bait a bit too much. Nearly ends up
Wow.
falling. Omni Slash committed. Doesn't really catch anyone or anything. Resulting in a kill and Pino doing the smart thing, which is Blade Fury DP. Well, they tried.
Yep. They tried, but they were a bit too late. Anti-mage made the right move. He just crest onto Underlord. I'm not sure. The opponents from the side of LXG were here. This observer ward was just placed, so I don't think he knew that, but good for him. He managed to zone out the Underlord. He managed to make this rotation from LXG completely useless. And now, as a result, all that time was spent by Juggernaut farming, was spent by Anti-Mage farming, who has his Battle Fury soon.
Yeah. And you're also going to have the chaos of Rolling Thunder in these fights in a bit. Blaze moving towards his Blink Dagger. His team is probably let him know that he's not needed out bottom. He's going to try and catch up with farm up top. Lina trying to get a free tower at mid, but no notes here. He's got 3 points in the X. He can hold on to the torrent, but we go for the torrent and both the board coming through. Shady being slowed by these zombies well will fall to the soul rip. Both supports teaming up and sharing a little bit of gold.
Yeah. Cool thing about the Kunkka is that you pair him up with another support that has a bit of nuke damage, something like Line or Undying in this case. You can kill mid laners and off laners by yourselves. Lina doesn't have the most HP. She's quite a glass cannon actually, because if you can get on top of her, she is gonna end up falling.
Yep.
And Kunkka does exactly that with the X.
ATP. He's got his Maelstrom complete. He's spotting out Spooky Monster. Shackle will not connect the Ice Spot exists there. Spooky Monster, he's got the pit, but he's really not doing too much as Blaze moves around the map and sets up for a kill with the Rolling Thunder.
Yep.
Catalyst has got his Valkyrie as well.
Yep.
12-2. Not much of a net worth deficit between both these sides. And kudos to LXG and kudos to this Juggernaut really. He's the only one who's managed to keep the net worth somewhat even because, in all honesty, Floki, I think LXG have lost 2 out of 3 lanes.
Yep, I agree. They have lost 2 out of 3 lanes in
They've
the
lost
sense
mid,
that
but the good news is Shady's found his Yule Scepter. And now he's going to try hunting for a pick of Yules. Ice Vortex, LSA, Ice Blast, perfectly done. The ROM from the board will not even come through and they get a Kunkka. Lina needs to do this more often.
yeah, this is exactly what the Lina needs. Then once she gets items like the Shadow Blade, maybe the BKB or Dragon Lance, she's gonna have an even easier time in team fights. I think in this game, you just want to try and stay away from the Kunkka and Undying as much as possible. You want to prevent heroes from getting on top of you. So Shadow Blade wouldn't be too bad of a pickup just for that. But Dust and Sentries, I mean, this is a tournament game, so I do expect Vibe to buy Dust and Sentries even though they're a Southeast Asian team. So it can work once, but not twice. Now, another cool thing about the Lina is how you can jungle these Ancients with those extra points and Fairy Soul. Gives you a lot of attack speed, so you can actually just right-click the Ancients down with the help of your LSA and acquire a lot of farm.
Yeah.
Really good catch-up mechanic for Lina. She makes great advantages, great advantage of this when she's on Dire because of all these 3 camps that are right together.
Yeah, Shady also doing a small but neat thing that I like to see Coach doing. It's rather obvious, but he's just moving around with the Salve and a Clarity. This is going to minimize him going to base or going to a shrine. Deliverance has picked up his Blink Dagger by 18 minutes, which is actually pretty darn good considering the start that he had on that Sand King.
Yep.
They're in fighting shape now, and they want to keep fighting and delay the AM and his items as much as possible. But down bottom, Vibe smoked up,
Oh
might
no,
find
Shady.
Shady. Shady has that huge set, but the shackles will not connect. The zombies are there. X marks the spot, and the taunt onto the Sand King, the rolling thunder as well. Shady just ends up falling, drops the Dragon Slave, but doesn't really do too much. Deliverance does manage to blink away into the trees, but there is a zombie moving in a general direction. The power shot coming through. They find vision. They find the Sand King. They should bring him down. ADP finding himself a double kill. And that's
Yeah.
pushing him closer towards his BKB. An unusual pickup, but I think it could work this game.
I think he needs it this game because he's against so much disabled from the Underlord, from the Lina, from the Sand King, from the Ancient Apparition. All this makes sense for him to do what he's doing as of now. Allows him to continue doing what he's doing, and once he's able to do that and acquire some XP advantage and some net worth, he can go back for the Axe, the Daedalus, the MKB, whatever he likes to build on this hero. Blink wouldn't be too bad either this game. Now, Juggernaut is just going to be able to spin TP out. I like to see Juggernaut use this mechanic. They always spin TP out, split pushing, making space for the team.
Yeah.
Allows them to push really deeper than other heroes.
I think when Alexi look back at this replay, I'm sure they'll recognize that Juggernaut just keeping up on farm is becoming crucial for them.
Yep.
If he, I don't mind this Anjaniyasha pickup. He might probably look at something like a Blink Dagger. I don't entirely agree with that. I don't mind it either. But if he builds something offensive early on, maybe like an Abyssal, something to control that anti-mage, something to offer him more kill potential, Alexi could really start finding pickoffs on Ghost time and time again.
I mean, he doesn't really need the Basher. He just needs the Sand King and the Ancient Apparition to move around well and think like an anti-mage. The best way to counter an anti-mage or to counter any hero in Dota is to think like the hero. Once you're able to think like the hero, you can think about how he's going to move. Once you know about how he's going to move, you can set up for that with your heroes. And your heroes are really good at catching out the anti-mage. You have the Sand King, you have the Lina, you have the Ancient Apparition. You also have the Underlord, who should, I think, be a part of these ganks. I mean, this game, it's going to be the Juggernaut who's split pushing, so maybe it's Underlord who goes around setting things up with his split, because it's so good against anti-mage.
Yeah.
Spooky Monster, though, he should just get out of here with the TP. But looks like he's going to take the slow route and walk all the way back.
Mino is
Anti-mage
going
is...
for that blink.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I think it's probably the best or safest item you can get. Like you said, maybe if he has a Sand King enabling him, he can find kills.
Yep. He can just spin on top of two of these heroes, but that's about it.
See, I think like a pub player, my thought process is that, guys, I really don't have any help. I want to go solo killing people. But yeah, he's got the Sanjanyasha, he's got the healing word in. They're going to try and apply a little bit of pressure onto this theater. This fight could be costly. The rolling thunder is there. Blaze unveiling his Blink Dagger. Mino pops the blade free. He's going to wear out soon enough. He's looking to disengage. No further shield crashes coming out from the Pangolier. Deliverance on the side. I think he was X marked up, but he did manage to blink away. And AM still pushing bottom. Actually, AM doing a lot more work on the Dire tier 2 than LXGM managed to do up top. Vibe have got decent defense as well, but just as I say that, the Kunkka going for the D ward, I presume, ends up being brought down.
Yeah, rather greedy D ward there.
Exactly.
Shouldn't really be trying to get a D ward off when the enemy is at your off lane, trying to take your tier 2 tower. Now, I don't want to say that this tower is fairly useless by LXG, but they could certainly use the gold. However, if they don't find the last set on this tower, this rotation is going to be useless.
Look at what they're thinking. I mean, they were expecting AM to be baited by their tower, which is only sitting at like 192 points of HP, but AM got the hell out of there. Lina, Shady, trees! No!
Oh man, that was so close.
And that is why you always hide behind tree cover when you can and TP out.
Yep. As an anti-mage, you can just blink into the trees actually. Don't even have to run as much. You can just blink and TP out. Nothing's stopping you from that.
Well,
now,
yeah.
go on.
Okay. I mean, both games are playing this slower mid-game, right? And I want to say it actually benefits Vibe. It is LXG, they are trying to find openings, but I don't think you want to go into a farming battle versus an anti-mage.
Definitely not.
It's really hit or miss.
Yep. He's gonna get those items faster than you, and he's gonna have a lot more effectiveness with those items. Once he finishes up something like the Abyssal Blade or say like the Butterfly, his damage output is gonna skyrocket through the roof. He can just jump this Lina, and Lina has no answer for that. Like she can use herself up in the air, but that's all she can do.
Yeah.
Or Anti-Mage doesn't even have to fight actually. He can just continue split pushing and force LXG to make these really awkward movements around the map. Take this
Yeah,
boss
but he
time.
wants to fight.
Yeah, he wants to fight. Has the Mantis style now, so not a bad idea to fight entirely. Like the adjustment that all these anti-mages are making these days, going for the Aquila early on, making up for all the lost stats that Ice Rock took away.
Yeah.
Just give me a second, I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, Vibe taking a break. My co-caster taking a break, but I think the game's gonna get really interesting after this pause. Why they're looking to fight bottom? I think, like Floki mentioned, he's got his mana style. He wants to probably just see what he can accomplish in these fights. In the past, he's been able to apply a fair amount of pressure on his Spooky Monster. In this fight, I also want to see Spooky Monster just running in and throwing his body. Not just throwing it and giving it away, but using it smartly and setting up for Deliverance to say pop an epicenter and so on and so forth. You want to use your body as bait. He's got a lot of HP. He's got the Vanguard and the Hood. Can certainly force Wipe to clump up around him. I think this fight's also going to be particularly messy because you got 4 punts in the Tombstone. Everyone from both teams is here. Yep, all 5 from Vibe present at this bottom shrine.
Yeah, the good thing is
I wonder,
that. Go on.
no, I wonder if anybody's going to pick up that Arcane Rune. But yeah, never mind. Vibe looking to fight. They've got the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't really clip anyone. Clips the Sandking Deliverance. His blink disabled. The taunt controlling him might end up falling. You might not see an epicenter even come through from him. ADP eats an Omni Slash. Ends up falling. Mino bringing down the Wind Ranger. Catalyst looking to punish Mino, but the Ubers here. And Bangalore.
What?
They're not known for how good their Ubers are really. As Spooky Monster ends up falling. I'm not really sure what happened. How the hell did Juggernaut and Lina go base? Oh, that's
Oh,
quite
the
simple.
X
X marks the spot.
Yeah, I was so confused there for a second. I thought the Underlord ulti got cancelled at the last moment, and I was so
That
confused.
doesn't make sense, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember Juggernaut and Lina getting out of there. But yeah, beautiful X marks the spot coming out from the Kunkka. 2 spells that really mess
With the
with the
Underlord.
Underlord. X marks the spot, and the other one being the disruption. If you can somehow get it off with a little bit of vision. They're going to bring down Catalyst, which they've been looking for. And
Catalyst, oh boy.
just getting
It's
a
actually
little
a
too
bit-
excited, but they might find more. No drops the boat, hopes the rock will keep him alive, and the LSA is there. They've got a fair amount of physical damage as well. The Cold Feet will not even need to proc as Parasite gets the kill for himself.
Yeah, 2 quick kills for LXG. That is actually super beneficial. Picking up that kill on Anti-Mage. He's gonna be set a little bit behind, and now Juggernaut can just move around the map and keep setting up for this Anti-Mage every single time. Is the maxed out blade dance?
Deliverance is actually queued up a BKB. I like some of the calls that LXG are making. They've been a fight. They can't really find a tower just on the back of this, but they're going to move towards the pit. The problem is that there was a Radiant Observer ward on this cliff. And yeah, I'm sure Vibe are going to contest. And if this fight goes south for LXG, it could really cost them. The pit. Well, that's where Blaze wants to take control with the Rolling Thunder, bounces around the Tortoise as well, doesn't really connect the LSA, hoping to zone him out, but Deliverance ends up falling all by himself. ADP goes in, pops the BKB, but in the pit, Mino, his age is taken away. Catalyst doing work with that Mana Void, and now Vibe. They haven't got the BKB, they haven't got the Mana Void, but they'll try and fight. The Ice Blast doesn't really do too much. Deliverance buys back, hits a Power Strike, hopes to find the Undying, and with the damage from Shady, will find the kill. It's well, I mean, it's technically LXG losing the Aegis on the Juggernaut, losing a life on the Sand King, and finding an Undying after a buyback. Not really the best Roshan. I mean, I'm not sure this is what they wanted to accomplish. Maybe a
If they
D-Ward
can
would have
force
helped
out, if they can force out buybacks, this is actually huge because oh no, never mind. Undying is just gonna respawn, but at least they get this tier 2
Do
with
they
the help
though?
of the Siege Dragon. They should. They have Blade Fury TP out for the Juggernaut. They have Underlord with all his spells at the ready, so should find it.
Yep.
But Catalyst is just pushing the bottom lane. You can see he really wants to take this tower. It's only sitting on 153 HP like he left it. The Cliff. Can you save this tower? It's gonna get denied. One more right click.
No.
Yep, it is. It
Oh,
is.
he denied it. Okay.
Yep, he found it in the nick of time there. So the Underlord, he should have probably gotten himself a soul ring this game. I'm not a huge fan of the arcane boots. That's what I was
Did he go
discussing
for the
earlier. When you
movement
have a
speed talent? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, he went for the movement speed talents.
Wait, what? Catalyst drops the mana void, finds a kill, Deliverance whiffing on that burrow strike. Huh.
I'm not too sure what happened there.
I think 3 heroes from the side of LFG ran into the anti-mage. Anti-mage finds a kill and gets out.
I mean, this is such a pub thing that happens, right? You just send 3 heroes to kill the anti-mage, but the anti-mage gets a kill and gets out scot-free.
I mean, I agree. I think when Blink creates an uncontrollable illusion was just introduced, everyone in all my pubs was picking anti-mage.
Yeah, thank God that those days are long gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had to remove strength gain, they had to nerf him bit by bit. I'm so happy that they're done with that, because I think the thing about an anti-mage is he's a great hero, but just not when your teammate picks him up.
Yeah, he's like the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, or the Invoker. He's great when your opponent picks him, and that's when life sucks. But when your teammate picks him, he usually sucks. Anyway, Shady's got the Yules. Can he set up for the AM though?
Nah, he doesn't have damage to bring him down. Not at least until he has a physical damage item or maybe an axe. With the axe, that is not too bad of a pickup this game. He can deal a lot of damage to the AM, who's not really prone to building a lot of HP items. I think the Laguna Blade deals close to 1000 damage at level at the max level with all the amplifications and the axe scepter.
Do you want to
At
go
the moment,
Ags, or do you want to go a little more right-click heavy on the laner?
this game, there are merits for both the builds. Like, Axe is really good against piercing through anti-mage and his band of magic resistance, but at the same time, the physical damage is gonna make sure you skill a lot better into the late game, but it also makes you more of a glass cannon. Okay, BKB TP out, nothing to stop that, but that's a 10-second... Okay, that's a 7-second
it's
BKB
not.
used.
It's not 10-second BKB. He's used it twice.
Hmm?
And the first time he used it, he ended up dying to the physical damage from the Juggernaut. Yeah, I'm honestly a little happy, but a little worried that Vibe have invested in early BKBs. It could backfire. I mean, the AM is looking for a BKB as well.
Yep.
What? Omni Slash? Creep Wave? No, he's gonna end up surviving. As Omni Slash committed, and Catalyst just pushing out mid. Will he eat the Power Strike? The Root is left with a bit of Malice. He's got the Mana Style, and that's gonna allow him to just TP, or rather blink out of there. Well,
Yep, minus 2.5 seconds
refreshed.
blink cooldown.
There is
Oh,
an
the Ice Blast!
Nicely done.
He is gonna be mildly annoyed. Just buying seconds off the clock for Anti-Mage. Now he's picked up the BKB as well, so Anti-Mage is in a bit more fighting shape, but the lack of lockdown on the side of Vibe could come to haunt them later on, because if they don't win a team fight convincingly and use all the BKBs, those are actually BKB charges wasted. Typically when you pop BKB, you want to win the whole team fight, you just don't want to get 1 or 2 pickoffs. Even if you do get 1 or 2 pickoffs, you want to convert it into towers at the very least, and if you don't do that, that BKB pickup has not been the most useful. That's why I don't like going for the early BKB no matter how dire the situation, because if your team lacks these kind of heroes who can lock opponents down, that BKB is not going to pay for itself. It's just going to become a liability more of an asset, and then you're going to be sitting on a 5-second BKB charge and 30-35 minutes into the game when you actually need it.
Mana Void used on the Underlord in the mid lane, not really resulting in a kill, but Vibe definitely being the aggressors here. 30 minutes in, just 1,000 goals separating these teams, and I really dislike these sort of games, because you know that the game is really close, but one fight is all it takes for you to lose this game.
Yep. The network doesn't sing the story, but the map does. You look at the map and you see all the vision. It's at the moment it's favoring Radiant somewhat. I mean, no teams have aggressive bots.
Yeah.
Except for this one over here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, actually wanting to probably just secure themselves. just warding over the rune and warding at that slope that guards their jungle. Catalyst, he's got his BKB. He's getting close to his Basher.
Yeah, the Basher is good this game because he can jump the Lina and lock her down with the help of the BKB. Nothing to stop that.
I think.
Oh no, the
What
stun
the
misses.
hell is Shady thinking? Goes in, the Rolling Thunder is there, Deliverance follows up with the bounce strike. He's got that link in favor, the Mana Void comes through. Catalyst blinking forward, the Rolling Thunder comes to an end, but the Uber is there. Omnislash coming out from the Juggernaut, will it really result in anything? Well, it's going to result in him missing his Uber, and he might get punished, but fortunately he has a Blink Dagger. Shady's out of here as well. Minnow will TP, and you spoke of the lack of lockdown on the side of Vibe. There is a lack of lockdown indeed. The good news is that Catalyst didn't commit a BKB for that fight, and they forced out the Omni Slash. They got the Ice Blast out as well. Not too bad for Vibe really.
Yep, but still, once again, I'm a little unhappy with how the Juggernaut has itemized this game. I mean, it's personal preference in all honesty, but going for the Eye of Skadi when you need items like Abyssal Blade, it's a bit too optimistic. You also need some damage item rather, like, I'd rather this Juggernaut gets himself.
He's got to be careful, but the Laguna turning upon the AM Catalyst will end up falling. The Torrent clips the Underlord. The Underlord falls. Minnow looking to run away or chase rather with his Blade Fury. ADP pops his BKB, looks to turn or run rather. No. Caught in the Ice Blast, will not end up falling. The Shackles controlling the Juggernaut. Shady looking for someone in the trees. KL just trying to juke as hard as he can, and he's going to be able to TP out as well. I didn't even know that there is place on the map in that corner.
Well, you do now.
Yeah, interesting.
So, Shady...
But they lost the AM.
Yeah, they lost the aim. They find the co-kill, but that's all they find, unfortunately. You probably wanted a bit more than that, but it's okay. Take what you get.
Yep.
The problem last fight was that Lina got a bit too greedy with the Yules. There was a Kunkka right next to her, but she didn't want to go for the Kunkka because she thought her teammates would get them at their disables. But instead, she chased deeper. She missed out on the Sand King. She missed out on the Pangolier. Missed out.
This time she's not missing out. She's found KL. The Tombstone is there. It's not going to do too much. Minnow will just Blade Fury TP out of there. And, that's the Undying.
Oh no, Apparition.
Wait, what? He's going to get pulled back when the X marks the spot. I got the power shot, a bunch of zombies as well. And Parasite going to end up falling. He's got a Ghost Scepter. So that's going to force AM into considering a Nullifier at some stage of the game.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna buy a Nullifier this game.
No?
Nah, Nullifier is not an anti-mage item. Yeah, Abyssal is an anti-mage item. The reason you don't want to buy Nullifier is because it doesn't give you anything as AM that you really want. You want Disable on anti-mage. You want items that give you HP. You want items that make you more survivable or maybe help you split push a bit better. Nullifier does none of that. It instead just acts like a 5-second slow with extra damage, and anti-mage doesn't need the extra damage. Gyrocopter does. So Gyrocopter is, I mean, it's a great item for him, but not a great item for the anti-mage.
And
No.
Elixir, no clue what is going on right under their noses. They're going to give up Roshan. Spooky Monster, he's got the Crimson Guard in the hood. I think what was really crucial for Elixir in the previous fight was that Lina got off the LSA and the Laguna Blade onto the AM. And she's got to hope. She's got to hope that the AM just doesn't blink upon her, which is when Elixir could lose a fight. Just by virtue of being far away and getting off the Laguna Blade onto the AM, they did get that one kill. But still, Floki 35 minutes in, 1,000 net worth separating both these teams. I presume that Vibe with the Aegis will try and be a little bit more aggressive.
Yep. Juggernaut has been farming really well too. Mino has acquired a lot of net worth, and he's actually not kept up. He's actually outfarmed the anti-mage in terms of items. He has a Skadi, Blink Dagger, Sanjan Yasha, the Battle Fury. He's looking to further an anti up with the Butterfly pickup next.
I don't know. I think a control item instead of the Skadi could have been better.
Yeah, the Abyssal Blade.
Again, there is a lot of control, but maybe it's not enough. I think
maybe he
control
wants to
is what
siege.
you need rather than HP.
Probably.
I don't think it's going to be that easy for them to siege either. I don't think the Skadi is really going to... I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Skadi pickup.
I see.
I don't know.
Smoke up from Wipe though.
Yeah. ADP with that into his mid run. We'll see Ancient Apparition. Try and run down. The power shot will win, but still, it's cute to look at, but they're going to turn upon him. The taunt is there. They'll bring down the Sand King Laguna Blade coming out. They're looking to punish this Pangolier, but please, still alive, still healthy, gets a own charge from a friend and escapes as well. They find both these supports. They've still got the Aegis in the AM, and they can still take risks if they want to. Deliverance blinked in. I mean, there was an Omni Slash, but
Yeah, the problem with the Omni Slash was that there was a cheese available and they all just clumped up together, so the Omni Slash didn't do a lot of work. And since the Juggernaut lacks somewhat in terms of damage, the Cleave didn't do work either, because when that happens, you're really expecting the Cleave to show up and do some work in these team fights, but a simple Battle Fury with
Shady
no extra
can't
damage.
really show himself down bottom. They've got the focus fire, they'll try and bring down this tier 3 ADP's got to be careful. Minnow blinks forward, has the Crimson Guard to keep him healthy. He's looking to chase, he's got the movement speed with the face boots, giving vision with that Blade Fury, but there isn't really any catch. Deliverance, walking from his tier 3 tower, his teleport scroll on cooldown, can't really set up for anything else. But Vibe haven't backed off yet. They're still lurking. Shady walks past the sentry.
Well, they are going to back off now. Anti-Mage should honestly just wait until he gets big enough to fight. I think he needs the items like the Abyssal and the Butterfly before he fights. At least the Abyssal in the very least, because just a BKB in Bash is not going to enable him to get these kills, especially when his team is... it's full of Undying and Pangoliers, heroes that don't have the most reliable catch. They do have catch, but it's not the most reliable, so you probably want to wait for an item or two before you look to take the next fight. Once he has the Butterfly, he's gonna have the damage to dish out and take out the Lina all by himself. But the Lina has a Lincoln, so it's gonna be hard to get the Abyssal off unless there's a long range X marks the Lincoln's cancel.
Find the AM near the power strike from Deliverance perfectly down. The Rolling Thunder, it's coming through, but I'm not sure if Vibe have turnaround potential here. AM still with the Aegis could look to go in. A rock coming in between the Pangolier and his next target, but LXG just take away the Aegis. Try and retreat, but here an epicenter coming through. Deliverance looking to turn the Omni Slash. Then the Bio 1 and 2 as well. They'll find the Pangolier. They found the Undying already. No. He's got the boat, but he hasn't got too much follow-up coming up from any core on his side as he ends up falling to the Laguna, and the damage from the Lina and the Juggernaut. Beautifully done by LXG. Deliverance turning things around with that epicenter.
Oh man.
Nicely done.
Yeah, the first epicenter of the game that was used in a team fight and it was successful. Thank God Deliverance managed to get that one, because if he didn't, that would not have been a team fight that I'll actually win.
Yep. They baited them perfectly towards that epicenter. And,
Indeed.
Shady's going for another defensive item. He's going for a BKB. I can't quite agree with
No
this
man,
pickup.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
I mean, he's got the Shadow Blade, the Yules, and a Lincoln Sphere. I was already doubtful when he picked up that Lincoln Sphere, but I don't agree with this BKB. Come on.
He's trying to be something that he's not. He's trying to make himself a bit more tanky and a bit more survivable, but in all honesty, these Lincolns, Black King Bar, I mean, they seem great on paper, but your real problem is going to be the Wind Ranger attacking you, the Wind Ranger just focus firing you down, and then the Pangolier coming in with all his crappy spells. BKB doesn't help you against that. Yeah, I hate Pangolier as a safe laner, man. He's just so annoying. But anyway, the problem with the Lina's item is that she's gonna lack damage in these team fights. She doesn't have an axe, she doesn't have... Thank God, she switched her items, I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah.
She's buying an MKP. All what I said has been invalidated.
Yeah, I don't mind MKB into... Did she take the attack range talent?
No, she went...
Oh, that comes at level 25, my bad.
Yeah. She went for the Fairy Soul stack talent,
Which
so
I like.
that's great. Yep. Mid lane?
Yeah, got that. Not sure what Blaze was thinking. Out of position, gets punished. Nice burst strike coming out from Deliverance. Well, Mino's gone for the Butterfly. You know what? I honestly think this card could have been optional. I mean, it's something he could have considered after picking up 2 items and then maybe consider this card if he wanted
Yeah, well,
it really.
I guess so, but
I
the
have
Juggernaut
the same
is
flow
super
key.
tanky.
Yeah, I mean, props to Mino. Farming and keeping up with an AM.
Yeah, not that. I mean, it's really hard to do, and Mino has executed it perfectly. Sure, there were a few ganks here and there to help you out, but otherwise, no one can really keep up with the AM unless you're...
He hasn't really gotten the help that you'd hope for. I mean, it's not that he's finding a lot of kills. I think it's... I mean, I'm going to bring down CS actually. And look at that. 446 CS on AM. 444 CS on Minnow.
Well,
I
they're
don't know
taking
how
back
much of
towards.
that comes from the jungle, but yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a good thing. They're taking towers and they're defending their own with the Underlord ultimate. They're making sure they don't lose map control. Catalyst, though, he got a fair amount of damage done to this tower bottom.
Yeah. They're going to try and find him actually, but this...
It's a hard kill to get without the Juggernaut. Unless you change Sun him perfectly. And even then, he has a BKB.
They know where he is.
Think they had an inkling, but they aren't too sure. The Pangolier is pushing out the top lane though, so they are gonna have to go back to address that. And if they don't, Pangolier just might find himself a free tier 2 tower. Pangolier is also starting to reach the point where he gets a lot more damage output. The 2-second shield crash cooldown and ball is great talent, and he could even go for the swashbuckle damage actually with all these HP items that he's going for. Wouldn't be too unhappy to see that. And at level 25, he can certainly go for minus 3 seconds swashbuckle, and that's gonna amplify his damage through the roof. I like seeing the damage-based Pangolier actually. I think there are merits to that build. Getting at least one damage item, increasing his swashbuckle damage, makes you a bit of a kill threat. Diffusal Blade wouldn't be too bad of a utility pickup as well, because of all the mana burn it gives you. Just mana burning the Lina or mana burning the Sand King, who don't have a lot of it, could be really game winning in these team fights.
Yeah. It also, I mean, it's a way to trigger Lincoln Spheres.
Yep.
Just allowing more control. He's going for the Scythe of Vice, which I don't mind, but I don't think he needs all that badly. Anyway.
Yeah, I think the Yules would have also been great this game on the Pangolier because, yeah, you just get on top of someone, stun them once, stun them twice with the Yules, bounce into a building and stun them thrice.
Vibe, when Smoke finds himself the Underlord, delivers there with a counter initiation, quick rolling thunder, but it's a torrent. Order to the board connecting on Spooky Monster. They'll find the Underlord. Meanwhile, Catfish, he's found Minnow, taken away most of his mana, still has the BKB, turns over Shady. That Link gets away as well as that Shadow Blade, keeping him alive but not for long. Catalyst, overestimating the Blink, still trying to run down this Lina, and he's got help now. Blaze is here, they'll eventually bring down the Lina. 85 seconds without Shady.
Man, this is hard for LXG to hold. This is not going to be easy. Now they can just walk into the rush pit, get themselves an Aegis, and they'll still have time to get themselves a tier 3 tower mid because they found a DD. And teammates with the DD is going to take this Roshan down super fast. And at least they're going to find themselves a one set of frags, if not two.
Refresher shot.
Jeez.
The Pangolier or the Undying? I don't know.
I think you just give it to Wind Ranger instead. Those double BKB charges can really help her out in team fights. Or maybe the Kunkka uses it. Or at least holds on to it for now. Refresher shot. Really, Chon has, I mean, it was just a Reddit post at some point, but Ice Rock decided to implement it into the game and really like this change.
Oh yeah. Ice Frog is a Reddit user.
Indeed. Changes the game so drastically, right, in this late game scenarios, because now you also have to think about Aegis and Cheese. You also have to think about your ability to take Roshan and win team fights on the back of it.
Yeah.
So many things that can go your way.
I think
now that Ice Rock is adding all these new options to win the game.
What White should probably do is X mark the AM and siege bit by bit. I think they can do that very easily. Yeah, it's one way to siege with Focus Fire and Accept and the AM just going back and forth. They can actually siege if they want to.
Yeah, it's so cheeky too. I mean, like, how are you gonna stop that? There's an anti-mage who's gonna keep blinking and getting X marks back.
Yeah, you really can't. You can't kill him, and even if you kill him, he's got the Aegis. You might have to commit a couple of big spells if you want to kill him. Sure, they've got the Yules to disrupt the X-Marks spot, but Vibe can play that siege smart. Anyway, they're gonna back off for now. Minnow going for that Nullifier. It's gonna be good versus all those BKBs. If he gets that Blink and the Nullifier onto, say, someone like the Wind Ranger, can easily just bring her down with the Omni Slash, and that's one core deleted. The problem is he could have picked this up earlier, but I don't know. Maybe this card has been keeping him alive.
Probably. Now the anti-mage has finished up his butterfly. So he's going to be having an even easier time in these team fights, just finding the lean and bringing her down.
Do you think Shady should have looked at something like a Bloodthorn? Because, I mean, come on, it's somewhat obvious, right? That he's building towards a butterfly.
Give me a second. Having a sneeze.
For now, Vibe is just pushing out bottom. Got Aegis. They want to do as much of work as possible with this Aegis. And She's on to EDP on the Wind Ranger. And yeah, like I mentioned, we're going to X mark and siege bit by bit. Catalyst blinks ahead, gets control, eats the Power Strike and the LSA and gets pulled right back. This time they're going to go with the Wave Catalyst, blinking forward, looking to take that tier 3 tower. LXG might just be forced to take this fight. They're trying to set up on the AM. He has got a BKB, one trigger in the Laguna plane, everything coming out of the AM. He's still alive, and the Shackles setting up for plays to come in with the Rolling Thunder. He's going to respawn with the Aegis, but LXG, they are looking to disengage. The Underlord, the only one being controlled, will get pulled back. The tier 3 tower's fallen, and Catalyst blinks forward, looks towards the Ancient Apparition, eats a Nullifier and an Omni Slash. He's still alive, but not for long. Gets pushed around with his force staff coming out from his ally, and he's going to stay alive. Meanwhile, ADP brings down the Underlord. Spooky Monster buying back. Minnow still standing on the front lines. He's got a Nullifier in a bit, but he hasn't got the Omni Slash and Vibe. They'll sell for the range barracks and they'll look to disengage.
Man, that was a messed up team fight by Vibe.
They're not disengaging. They're full buybacks, and they're going to try and punish Spooky Monster for buying back. The Shackle's perfect from ADP. The Spooky Monster down for 91 seconds, and Vibe, they could possibly secure the many barracks as well. Catalyst going to blink forward, not too concerned about the Chilling Touch and the Ice Vortex, and he's going to blink it aggressively, but the Nullifier is there. Juggernaut looking to turn things around, has the play for the aim, dropping low, should be careful. The Deadlift doing a fair amount of work, but he's going to blink away. ADP with that Invis Wind Run, looking to run forward. Pops his BKB, doesn't pop his BKB, in fact his Deliverance gets off the Power Strike. ADP still alive, courtesy that Soul Rip and AM being controlled, or rather controlling the Juggernaut with the taunt coming out from the Kunkka. Will finally get the kill courtesy that Power Shot, but they've lost plays, they've lost KL as well. ADP finds a trade on the Deliverance. It's all getting extremely messy in this bottom lane for both teams, and buybacks expended from LXG as they hope to hold on to this melee barracks. The Pangolier buying back as well, and Deliverance knows that if he manages to land a Power Strike, he could find one kill at the very least, but it's Minnow with the Nullifier and the Blade Fury. It's going to end up finding the kill onto that Kunkka. A 6,000 net worth advantage in favor of Vibe. The fight recap, well, it doesn't really tell you the whole story. As there was a buyback, a dieback, another buyback, and even more buybacks.
Yeah, even the Pangolier bought back for that one, so that's his buyback down for quite a while, and
yeah.
With this buyback down, it's going to be hard to defend if you're Vibe, because now the Juggernaut can come knocking at your high ground with his Butterfly and Nullifier. And I think he has a buyback available at the ready. Never mind, it's on cooldown. My bad.
Nope, no buyback for 10 minutes. Did he buy back in that fight? I'm not sure. I know Deliverance as well as the Underlord bought back.
Well, he certainly did. His buyback is on cooldown at the moment.
Okay. So yeah, costly defense for LXG.
Yeah, now LXG, they need to make something of this. They got them to buy back on the side of Vibe. Why am I not seeing an immediate smoke play?
But I mean, it's actually costly, right? Because if LXG die now without buyback, it's the end of the game.
But it's also when Vibe least expected. I mean, I know this is like a very do or die kind of a situation, but in all honesty, this is all in. I mean, this is your best chance of carrying this game if you're LXG at the moment.
Or
you'll never find
delay the game and wait until you get buyback.
I mean, you're just delaying the inevitable, man, in this case, because...
Okay, so you're saying that they're so far behind that they have to find a pick-off now? When they don't have buyback?
Yeah, not in terms of net worth, but like in terms of the opportunities they get, because it's going to be hard for them to find the win rate. It's going to be hard for them to find the anti-mage once again. It's not going to be easy, especially with this anti-mage just picking up items that make him slightly tankier and make him deal a lot more damage towards the late game.
And actually for now they are smoked up, they're moving through mid. ADP is here, will lead the Barca, LSA coming through Ice Blast as well. They're trying to bring down this Wind Ranger, but she pops a BKB, has the Invis Wind, not turns with the focus fire, looks towards Shady. Shady will end up falling, the epicenter's there from Deliverance, doesn't really do too much. Spooky Monster getting the Uber up and going. Vibe don't find anyone else, but they find the Lina, and that's Lina down. While Catalyst, he's chasing for Minnow. He's got the nullifier upon him. Blinks doesn't have an escape for that Omni Slash, but they'll all tank it up, and they've got the Glimmer Cape, and now Minnow, he's got his Blade Fury, but the Abyssal is there, controlling the Juggernaut, holding him in place. They've got the Soul Rip, healing them up. The Torrent clips on it too, and Catalyst, dominating, finds himself the Juggernaut as well as Deliverance, and LXG, no. They know that they can't come back into this. GG, well played, is the call. Vibe will take game 1 of this best of 1. The dips are coming out. Well, LXG, they're going to be distraught, man. I think Minnow's going to be the most heartbroken out of his entire team. Anyway, folks, that's it as far as today's Dota 2 broadcast is concerned. My name is Vivek. With me was Floki. You're watching the ESL India Premiership. I'm going to throw it over to the analyst panel. Goodbye and good night.
Hey everybody. Okay then, apparently my hair has become very weird. Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to the studio segment of the ESL India Premiership 2018 Challenger Series going on right now. And what an amazing game this. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have for you guys in today's edition of the Challenge Series. We'll be coming back tomorrow with more games, so don't go anywhere. Remember to subscribe and press the bell icon button so that you get notified each time we come forth with new esports games. Till next time, cheers.
They say gaming is easy. They say this is not a job. They say it's a waste of time. But we kept at it. Got better. grinded, leveled up, and conquered. We are gamers. We are the ESL India Premiership, powered by Omen by HP.